Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computer c2k now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next few hours, along with Bruce.
I'm in the lower right-hand corner. You put me in the corner. Was I a bad
Well,
boy?
no, you weren't bad. I didn't have a chance to do it, so this is the template from you last week.
Oh, I like being here, though.
Mike may be here. Spence said he's going to be a little bit late. Our number, 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And this morning show is being brought to you by that VidBlaster guy, Tom Sinclair, at www.vidblasterguy.com. You want to be up at the top. Let's see if we...
No, it's okay. I'm fine down here. Boy, that VidBlaster guy had a great show this week. I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but he had a great interview with a guy who's using VidBlaster to earn him some coin. And it was quite interesting.
That was, what's his name? Was that the one with David?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah. And it sounds like VidBlaster 3.0 is just around the corner soon, huh?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. But we'll see. You can't bank on anything there.
Mm-hmm.
It's information that comes out of rumors, so you don't know. Mm-hmm. Is it not? No, it doesn't matter. Sooner or later it'll come out.
Yeah,
you know it will.
Yeah, good morning to Jeff and Brent and CEG3, Alan, Steve. Why, it looks like that VidBlaster guy's in the chat. What do you know? And Manny?
Oh, yeah, Tom is here. What do you know?
Dr. John. Yeah, that was a great show, Tom. I enjoyed that. I tell you, Tom's getting really sophisticated. Of course, he's got the green screen thing going on, but now he's got this really cool animated thing, behind him, It makes him look like he's at CNN Central or something like that.
Yeah, it's a neat. I mean, it's a. I can't remember. He said who made it for him, but it's really nice. It's just a movie, and and you don't pay attention that it just repeats because it's not. It's you don't look at that. So it looks
one
good.
One of the things I like about Tom, he's just a regular guy. He's humble.
Yep.
He's just what you see is what you get. He's just plain talking. He's not a used car salesman or or anything like that. I just feel like I'm sitting down at a coffee shop having a chat with him when I watch.
Yeah, but he can do things better though. I mean, if he was here, I would tell him. But if he was here. But since he's not here, I can say whatever I want.
Yeah. He's painting. Did you see in the chat? There's only one thing I just like worse than painting, and that's wallpapering.
Your audio just went down.
It did?
Oh, no, it's coming back up.
That's interesting.
Tom. Okay, let's see.
He's painting the back wall green. That's what he's doing. He's making a whole new green screen thing. That's why he's got the paintbrush in his hand. He got some of that chromium paint, and he's...
No, I don't think so.
No?
No.
Hello, puppies.
Yeah, he said, I wish. No, he's painting something else.
This situation that's dominated the news this week, and it's such a tragic thing about the Boston Marathon bombing, and most of you, like I, were probably glued to the TV set and news. I had a good friend of mine who actually, the night that everything came down as far as the capture of suspect number 2, there were actual police scanner URLs that you could go to and listen to this stuff, and it was quite interesting. And one of the issues was that because there were so many different agencies involved, they tried going to different secure channels and everything, but in order to communicate to everybody, they had to stay on some of the more public channels. So it was quite an entertaining thing to listen to.
I never thought about trying to find something like that. Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A friend of mine, Matt Janney, lives in Tulsa, Oklahoma, was doing that. And he was posting links. Every once in a while, one would go down. They would post a link to another one. But it's also interesting how technology, played a role in that, especially when it comes to social media. There were quite a few, I guess they're referred to in the news today as internet sleuths, kind of online detectives. And, of course, people posting and sharing pictures and things like that. Of course, there's the downside to that where, you can't believe everything you read on the internet. And so there are a lot of conspiracy theories. Some people jumping the gun, a little bit of hate mongering on both sides. It was kind of disappointing, but it was interesting. We live in a totally new day when it comes to things like this as relates to social media and technology. Oh, well, Tom says he's painting his mother-in-law's house.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a good man. See, I told you. I mean, Tom's just that kind of guy. He paints his mother-in-law's house.
He probably had to.
So that's not a honeydew. Maybe that's a cantaloupe dew or something.
Nah, I'm just kidding. He knows I'm kidding. Let's see what's going on.
Call in, Steve, so we can hear your dulcet British tones. Hey, while you're getting some other things said, talking about technology and politics and stuff like that, it was an interesting story on The Verge that I found a little disconcerting to me. And, of course, people are going to be all over the place on this particular issue because it's a controversial issue, I know, regarding gun control, which was defeated in the Senate.
Right.
And but this story in The Verge about this Ron Conway, who's a really defined in the article as a super angel tech investor. He invested in things like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and things like that. He's wanting to take his money and launch a social media campaign, which he describes as to be the biggest ever, to try to amass public opinion against the 45 senators who voted against the bill, to try to kick them out of office.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it didn't pass, and that's all that's important, in my opinion.
Right.
Some lawmakers have their own idea. I still don't understand, and we're getting away from what we're talking about. I don't understand that. Can you explain to me why was it necessary for Reid to vote against it in order to bring it back?
I don't know, but again, the main reason I bring this story up is because of the social media, the tech connection here. We're at the place now where we have elected officials who get communicated to in any one of a number of ways: emails, mails, telephone calls from their constituents telling them how they feel about certain things. There are all kinds of polls out there that show different percentages of people for and against. The vote takes place. The vote is what it is, and so now a very, very, very wealthy man is going to leverage social media to try to swing public opinion, and certainly it's his right to do that. But what concerns me is there's so many, quote, low information voters out there who have this herd mentality and get on board about this big social media campaign and really haven't thought out the issue to make an intelligent decision one way or the other. I mean, they can do whatever they want, certainly, but I don't know. It just seems like there's that liability where social media is concerned. It's got great things, as we saw with bringing to closure this Boston Marathon bombing case. The positive role that it played there, a lot of encouraging things. But even in that and in this, you see the flip side liability of the thing as well. So I'm just bringing that up for thought. I'm certainly not wanting to talk about gun control or anything.
All right, let's see what I have here.
Dr. John says his no vote was a parliamentary move. So,
well, I understand this, but what I don't understand is what they were saying that he voted that way in order to bring it back. It's like if he voted for it and it didn't pass, that's the way I understood it, then, okay, that's it. But the fact that he voted against it gives them a chance to bring it back. This is what I didn't understand. His vote should be like anybody else's vote. So I don't know. I just don't understand how these things work.
Right. Dr. John says you are correct.
About what?
About what you just said. Your explanation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I don't understand. That's why I don't understand what extra power he has that he can bring something back that nobody else can. I don't know. Anyway, you know how we always thought, you remember the days of the NiCad batteries, and you have to discharge them and recharge them in order for them to last? Well, then we have the lithium ion. And let's get to it. Let's see. Good morning.
Hello.
Who's this?
This is Ed.
Hi, Ed.
How's it going this morning?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Well, okay, sort of.
Uh-oh.
I've been trying to uninstall Office 2003 and then reinstall it.
Yeah?
The problem is it doesn't actually uninstall. Now, I tried it both with the disk and I tried it through Control Panel. But when I reinstall it, all the settings are still there, so the problem is still there.
When you reinstall it,
everything, it's like I had never uninstalled it.
You actually made changes to the settings throughout the years?
Yes.
And they're still there, so it's not the default
everything.
setting.
All the files and folders are there. Everything is there.
Files and folders of your documents or Office?
Well, my Outlook is exactly as it was, as if I had never uninstalled it.
And it will stay there. That's your data. That's not the program.
Oh.
If it's under your username, in a folder under your username, it will stay there.
Aha.
But if it's still in the program files, it depends which operating system you're on. If it's still
Windows
in the program, yeah. So files 86, whatever they call it, I don't remember. But if it's still there, then it's not removing it. You're right.
Huh. That weird. Okay. Well, that's not good. I've got a little problem that I can't seem to solve. I was backing it up using the import-export feature yesterday, and I stopped it in the middle, canceled it. And now when I go to open up Outlook, it comes up with a thing saying it can't find. I just closed that thing. I'll open it, see exactly what it says. No, now it's not going to do it, of course. No, I'm not going to worry about it. Maybe I fixed it.
Well,
Now, I've got one other thing. This is totally different. I've been trying to get that thing just came up. The file C/users 420-13 PST could not be found.
Ouch.
Backup.
This is your main Outlook file.
Yeah. Does that matter? I moved that folder to.
Oh no, you cannot move it.
Well, I can't find it anywhere. It's not there anywhere.
What you need to do, first of all, is search for your PST file.
I found it. I have it.
And is it under your username?
It's under, It's all the way into my computer and then email backup.
Okay, so in other words, it's still where it's supposed to be. It looks like...
I moved it there because I had deleted it. But I had never seen this before.
You deleted the PST?
Well, when I stopped it whenever it was backing up.
That should not... backing it up to another drive, you mean?
Yes.
That should not do
anything.
anything.
Backing it up to desktop.
Let me back it up. I don't use Outlook.
Okay.
I use Outlook Express, but I'm talking from... Bruce, do you use Outlook?
I use Outlook 2010, yes.
All right, so maybe you have better idea of what...
No, I mean, I'm just hearing some things that, sound problematic. The first one was stopping an import or an export in progress. The other is moving the PST file from its resident place where it normally would be to someplace else. And then, of course, when you launch the program, you're not being able to find it.
But here's the thing: when I look at that PST file, when I move it, I finally restored it to the desktop where I had been backing it up. It only has like 178,000 kilobytes. My backup files normally, my PST normally have about almost a gig. No, 148 megabytes. So this is not really a file. I don't understand it. It's just weird. I know how to solve it, sort of. I just wanted to see if you guys knew why I couldn't uninstall Outlook and then reinstall it. But it just keeps the settings somewhere, huh? That's cool.
The settings will always stay there because it's under your username.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm happy, actually, because that's always a pain in the neck, changing fonts.
But I still don't understand. Yeah, I guess, if you did you say you stopped an import-export or a backup?
It's the same thing. I was exporting it to a backup. I was exporting it to my desktop. First of all, I create a folder on the desktop saying backup to 42013. That was yesterday.
Yeah.
Then I export to that, so I always have it.
Okay,
I do that once a week. That way...
Ed, just so I understand, export what?
I export my folder, all my folders and files, my PST files.
PST file is one file. It's not files. A PST is one huge file.
Right.
If you
that's what I do. I go to File, I go to Import, Export. I go to the top thing which says Export to a file.
From within Outlook.
Within Outlook.
Okay. Now I understand. All right.
Then it's Next, and that's when this thing comes up, Personal Folders, the file backup that could not be found. Now, I have it saved. It's okay. I can put it back in somewhere, but this never came up before, and I can't get rid of it.
Okay.
But it's not the full... One second, though. It is not the full PST file. That's the problem.
That what you created is not full because you stopped it.
Okay.
Now, exporting your PST file is not really a backup. I mean, it is, but it's not a direct backup.
Okay.
Exporting is in order to use the data in another program?
Well, what I use it for is in case I ever have to reinstall Outlook, I've always got all this information.
Right.
I do it every week. Because then I just import it back in. That way I don't have to, it's all there.
Don't you lose some stuff when you importing?
No. That's the good thing about Outlook as opposed to Outlook Express. This is terrific. Everything goes back the way it was.
I've got news for you. Outlook
What?
Express is perfect because all you do is you back up all the files, the folders, and then you just copy them there. You just put them there, and boof, it's back where it was. But it doesn't matter. I mean, you don't have that option at this point with Windows 7. The thing is, so you started the export,
Right.
and you stopped it in the middle,
Right.
and you right away started Outlook, or Outlook was actually running. What?
Yes.
It had to have been running because you were exporting.
Yes.
So
Yes,
did
it
it
was.
give you an error right there?
The next time I opened it,
Okay, it was the next time you opened it.
and it comes up to that. Now, I moved it back. I moved it to a folder called...
No, it's not. It's going to mess it up. You cannot do that.
But listen again.
Okay.
Please listen.
I'm listening.
This is not the full PST file. It is nothing but less than 1 megabyte of data. It's really weird.
Okay, Ed, the file that you moved had to have been the full PST files.
Well,
full
I
PST
guarantee it isn't, but
Wait. Let me explain to you. When you are exporting from it, it's not changing that file, the original file.
Okay.
It is the original file with everything on it. The thing that is not complete is the exported file, which Outlook will never look at. Outlook only looks at the original one.
So if I move this folder, this PST folder, to somewhere else and then indicate that's where it is and now it works, it's not going to screw anything else up.
Well, you see, I mean, when you're saying this, there is no such thing as a PST folder. PST is a file.
Okay, a file.
When you're saying move the PST folder somewhere else, you cannot just take the PST file and put it in another folder because Outlook will not know where to look for it. And
well, it came up. What happens is it comes up, can't find it. When I click OK, then it comes up with another box, like your regular save box. And then, so what I did was I went to recent places. I found some files that it went into, that it had. I picked one of them, and that's where I moved the thing to. And I told it that. And now it's okay, but I just wanted to make sure it wasn't screwing anything up. And we don't seem to know, so that's okay.
I lost you. But the thing is that during an export, the original file does not get modified.
Okay, well then, as long as that part's okay. I was really most concerned with why the heck I'm uninstalling and not, but if it doesn't uninstall, that's cool. It's actually better that it doesn't.
Yeah, there was no reason for you to do it. There's only one problem. There's only one problem now. That if you reinstall it again from scratch,
right,
Outlook may not know where to look for that file because that file is in a certain folder.
No, I reinstalled. That's what I'm saying. When I reinstalled it, everything was there.
Okay.
It was like I had never uninstalled anything. My next thing's a little different. I bought a laptop computer for my wife.
Ed, let's stop there a second.
Go ahead.
So you said that you had a problem, though.
Well, I did because when I open up the first time Outlook, I'd get this error message.
Yeah.
I sort of solved it, but I didn't know if that was a good solution. I want to see now. I guess I'll just wait and see because I guess I'm not explaining it properly.
So are you getting the error every time you open Outlook?
Well, except once I found the file in my recycle bin because I had deleted it off the desktop. I had never seen it. You know, normally it says you have the folders with the little arrow in. That means you can go ahead and delete something. You know, it's got that little crooked arrow, and that means it's not really a folder, it's just a shortcut.
Correct.
This one didn't have a shortcut, but I deleted it, and that's when I started getting the message. So I went into recycle bin, I restored it back to the desktop, then I moved it to this other folder. And then I told Outlook when it came up where it is, and it seems okay. But I didn't know if that screwed anything up. But if it finds it and that error message doesn't come up anymore, I'm probably okay.
Well, you're just going to have to check and see if all your messages are there.
Well, they are. No, they are. Everything is there.
All right.
It's weird.
It's really strange. But
well, that's why I called. It wouldn't be any fun if I just called and said, "Hey, everything's working."
Okay, what is the second thing that you had?
Okay, I bought a laptop for my wife. We've been trying to get her a new Windows 7 because she doesn't want to get involved with Windows 8, and she doesn't use it for anything fancy. Anyhow, I had found one at Office Max for $300, and so I got it. But the shipping, it never kept saying it was shipped. So I called them. They said they just got an email. It wasn't going to ship for another 10 days. So I started looking around, and I found another one, a totally different one at Staples for $400, $399, regularly $649. An Asus with Windows 7, 4 gigs, the whole thing. And so I said, well, that's great. So I called them. They did have 30 of them. So I looked around some more just to double check. And finally, after checking various places, Best Buy has the exact computer, exact model number, everything for $600, $599. And I just wanted to, it just scares me a little, even though it's probably, I'm getting a good deal. Why would one sell it for $600 and one sell it for $400?
Because
Best Buy's a scam. That's why.
How's that?
Best Buy's a scam. They mark up everything that they sell. I would not.
I know.
Are you trying to say that, like, you think that maybe there's something wrong with the computer because Staples is selling it for?
Well, yeah. Why? How can they sell the same computer for? I mean, I understand $50, but $200.
That's because Best Buy always marks up their stuff. That's just the way. That's how.
Well,
they do
it's also could be the difference in strategies between the two companies. One company decides we need to unload all our Windows 7 stuff now, quickly, and so they do this drastic markdown, and they've crunched the numbers, and it's going to work out for them. Another company says, there's this people out there that don't like Windows 8, and so we can keep our prices up a little higher, a little longer, and maybe milk more out of it.
This is like buying a Big Mac. If there are two McDonald's on both sides of the street, and one sells the Big Mac for $1 and the other one sells the Big Mac for 80 cents, it's a Big Mac.
Okay.
It's
I thought that it just
remember.
It just seemed like I've never really seen that much of a disparity in an item.
What you have to make sure is that what you're looking at is really what you're looking at.
I looked. It's got the exact same processor.
You need to look.
And it's not a refurb, right?
Right. It could be a refurb.
Oh no!
Wait,
it's brand new. No.
Ed, we're just telling you what to look for.
I understand. It is not a refurb.
Okay, that's fine. You need to look at the model number.
I did.
On the back of the computer. Not the very first 3 or 4 letters, but then there are some numbers. And you need to look at those and see if they are the same, because they have different revisions. And if it is different, it's up to you to find out what's different about it. But chances are...
I've got the both of them on a web page, and the last numbers are 3210M at Staples.
Yeah. No, are you looking at the staple number that they advertise it as?
No, I'm looking at the model number.
Okay, yeah. And the other?
Oh, wait, where'd it go? Okay, I'm sorry, I read you the wrong one. 15093B.
Yeah.
and then I go over to Best Buy, and it is 15093B. Upgrade to Windows 8 for $14.99 if I wanted to do that. Everything's the same. I double check this like back and forth.
All right. No, that's
all right. So I don't have to worry.
You do not need to worry. I mean, it's just that you are a smart shopper, and you're finding cheaper ones.
Okay. Well, they do say clearance on the ones at Staples, so maybe they probably are. I guess 30 for a company that big isn't very many. So they
probably have 30 in the store. That's a lot, actually, for a 30 in one store, depending on how big.
No. For the whole company, I called the main Staples.
What? There's a main Staples?
Oh yeah. Well, you call customer service, and she checked the warehouse, and they had 30. This was on Friday.
Oh, you're gonna get it shipped to you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can't. They don't have them at the store.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I was confused.
No, that's fine. I should have given you all the information.
No, you done good. You done very good.
Okay, I'll go brag to my wife. Have a good day.
You too, Ed.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling. That's interesting about Outlook, though.
Yeah, of course, the only reason I use Outlook is because that's what I use on our company laptop, and of course, all those folders and all that stuff is controlled by the Exchange server.
Yeah.
Back home. So, some programs when you uninstall give you an option. Hey, do you want to delete all the data associated with this program? And I can't remember. I'm trying to remember if I've ever uninstalled.
No, that's actually a good thing that they don't allow you to delete it, because a lot of people would lose a lot when they remove it. So it's a good thing that they don't allow you to remove the PST file, because the PST file is really just a database. And I was going to tell him that there are tools out there that will go and fix the PST file. Like
Jeff was saying in the chat, if
it's true.
You delete it, Outlook will automatically create a new one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's true. Hey, Nick.
Good morning.
How are you?
How are you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Didn't have a chance to listen to your show Friday night. How did it go?
It was a good show. I was a little worried because those storms are rolling through, and we get a drop of rain and Time Warner goes out, so I was a little hesitant, but we got through it.
Good.
I tried to access it on my Samsung Galaxy Note 2 because I was away from my desktop, but I wasn't able to do that. I'm not sure what the reason why was, because I do have Flash installed on it. So.
Yeah, we're on Stitcher as well, so all of our episodes are on Stitcher, I think.
Okay.
They used to be.
Are you talking about video? Watch it on video, Bruce?
No. Oh.
No, Bruce.
Yeah, I thought it was a video thing that I
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. I think I use Blip TV for the CDN for the show, and sometimes Blip has issues. I've noticed issues with trying to watch Blip on my phone, but I also upload it to YouTube as well, so you can find it there too.
Now that you mentioned this, somebody who's Marilyn's that's doing the show on Monday night got an email from somebody who was trying to watch her show on an iPad and couldn't. And he sounded like, she forwarded me the message, and he sounded like he was pretty technical, and he told her that unless we encode it as a baseline, it will not play on any iOS.
You can't. That's your CDN's limitation. You won't be able to do that. Yeah.
But then I said, all you have to do, I know that it is working because I looked at a few of them, and I said, you have an iPad, you try and look at it.
Is there a Bamboozer app? On iOS?
I have no idea. I don't have one, so I have no idea how. But she watches her show. She monitors it on her iPad.
Interesting. Because I know Bamboozer's Flash, so it won't just play in a browser. You would need some kind of HTML5 encoder.
Well, see, this we were talking. Who was that? That was you, Bruce, who was talking about HTML5.
Mm-hmm.
But the HTML5 with Bamboozer is not the It's the embed. It's not the actual. I don't know if they're actually doing.
But if it's just the embed, I should be able to go to that site and watch it because if they're converting the Flash to HTML5, then
I don't know. All I
don't
know
know
is
how they're
that
doing
the embed, instead of the embed being about 500 characters long with the iframe and all that, this is a short line. And
Yeah.
I remember Bruce was telling me about it, and I went and used that.
You should give it a try. Set up a page on the Computers 2K Now site. Set it up for iOS or Android and see if it works. We can test it.
Well, I mean, this is how it's running now.
Oh, this is the HTML5
Everything is right. Yeah, I changed everything from that convoluted line that was the original line to the HTML. But it's, as far as I'm concerned, this is just an embed. I don't think it's an encoding thing.
Oh yeah, no. Looking at your source, no, it's just an embed. It's just embedding. It's just embedding the iframe into a smaller. See, they're trying to trick you there. They're telling you, "Hey, this is HTML5."
Right. There's no
really
option on the dashboard to stream it in a different way. I mean,
there's lots of
that's it.
overhead for HTML5, so these companies aren't just going to give it away, which sucks, but that's just the way it is, unfortunately.
I guess maybe there is an application, an app for the iPad.
There might be.
Maybe there's an app. I know that she's watching it. I don't know that there's a difference between live and.
Oh yeah, there is a Bamboozer app, but it's a broadcasting app, not a viewing app.
Is there a difference whether you are playing a live show or playing a recorded one that's like last week's?
I'm not sure how
I don't think so, because I've been watching past shows, like somebody would have it and I'll show him how to get to Nissan Communications and play it. And it on an iPad, and it just worked right off the bat. I never came across one that didn't.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
As a matter of fact, I was trying to see. I reinstalled Flash on my Android phone and tried to go yesterday and see if I can play. So I have a bookmark for Computers 2K Now. So it goes and goes and goes, and then it comes back that the show the file is too long to something, not to encode, but something.
It could be a limitation of because I know with Flash, it's not supported by Android anymore, so you have to install a third-party thing. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's in the Adobe Flash Player.
Yeah. So it might be a limitation where it'll only load, let's just say, a half an hour clip, and anything over half an hour, it doesn't have the overhead to do, so it doesn't do.
Yeah, I mean, it
might be. I'm not sure.
It's at least an hour, because I went to another show that's an hour long, and it worked. But on Computers 2K Now, it says the file is too long to something.
Amna, did you get my email last night?
About the Roku?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it this morning.
It's good. So
tell us about it.
So the Roku app. Now I put another app in the store maybe a month and a half ago, and I'm still waiting for it to get accepted. So what I'm told is that the Roku app should be in the public store within 2 weeks, but that's very likely to change. But currently, it's 2 weeks, and then you'll be able to on your Roku watch or actually listen to the Computers 2K Now and listen to all the other shows as well.
Jeff says today's audio video is not.
Yeah,
usual.
I know. I was just looking.
I noticed the same thing on my end too.
Really?
Even when I tried to play last week's show, which came up, it was very choppy and intermittent. And I checked my internet speed. There's no problem here or with my band.
That would be a Bamboozer thing.
I'm watching on my phone right now. Let's see if I can show this to you.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
it's loading fine now.
Let me tell you something. Okay, if you are comparing it to last week's, oh yeah, look at the. If you're comparing it to last week's, when we had the problem with the video with Bamboozer, wasn't it last week?
Right.
Yeah. Vaughn is a lot better than Bamboozer.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to use it all the time right now because they don't record it. And what I had to do at that point is the reason it's listed on the Computers 2K now on Bamboozer is because after the show, I had to sit here for another 4 hours, and stream it again to Bamboozer. So it will record it there.
Yeah, everybody's set on Vaughn currently, and I have the fear that I'm gonna, I'm using Vaughn right now, and I wake up tomorrow morning and the whole site's gone.
I don't think so.
I'm very hesitant to go there. It's a younger kid running it. Nothing against the kid, but it's just, I have a fear like money. There's going to be something with money. He doesn't have enough to pay the service, and the whole site's going to be gone. And then I'm going to be left without a CDN.
Well, but the thing is that Bamboozer can go offline and go.
True, they all can, but
Yeah.
Bamboozer's more of an established company. They're running ads, so they're getting some kind of revenue from your streams. This guy isn't running any ads. There's no revenue coming in from advertisers or anything. So I think currently everything's coming out of his pocket. So when that overhead runs out,
I tell you what I loved about his service, though. I mean, it's nice, it's solid, it's fast.
it is very fast.
I had two pieces of the show last week. The first part, and then the second part when we went over to Vaughn. So I needed to do the audio, and the audio I do is, since I can't really record efficiently with VidBlaster because of the CPU, I download the video and I just extract the audio from it. One was an hour, one was like 3 hours. And I'm looking at the page, and it's on Chrome, and one says 3 minutes left, the other one says something like 2 hours or whatever. And I'm saying, yeah, boy, this is the little one from Bamboozer is going to be here in a minute. Then I took another look, and actually the one from Vaughn was the bigger one, which took 3 minutes to download. And then I looked, and it was downloading at 2 gigabits.
Wow.
And from Bamboozer, it's downloading like at 100K, 90K, 140K. I mean, they limit.
But you see that, but that's where the issue is. So, this guy's using up all this bandwidth and everything, and I don't know. Maybe it's just me not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I never talked to him. I don't know how he's doing it, but obviously he's been around for some time.
Yeah.
And the whole thing looks professional and looks done right. Yeah. You don't just wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to write and set up a CDN just to see how it works. But I would love to use it, but the recordings stay there for only 24 hours, and then it gets erased. So I guess he's got more bandwidth than he's got storage. Maybe. I have no idea.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
So
I'm not sure
that's why, guys, this is why I will not use Vaughn unless we figure out how to broadcast the two of them at the same time efficiently here with the hardware that we have. It's a whole lot more convenient to do it through Bamboozer, and the recording is right there. Don't need to go in. But maybe I just need to play with it some more, and maybe we'll get to a middle ground. But Jeff, is it really, really bad as far as the audio and the video, or because I'm monitoring it through another source, and the video looks
really good here.
Really good when I blow it up full screen. It looks great.
Yeah, it does. Same here.
I'm not listening to it on here, but I was just wondering if it's really that bad. Anyway,
I want to give a suggestion to anybody that's in the or maybe not a suggestion to anybody that's looking to get a new pair of headphones. Do not buy the Sennheiser HD201s. The worst headphones I've ever used.
wow, when you see them advertised all over the place.
These are the ones I had before. I had the Sennheiser HD202s. These two headphones they look pretty similar. They're equally priced, and they've got these cheap connectors right here. So these constantly they constantly short out and whatnot. And they're $20 replaceable headphones. You buy them every 6 months or whenever the cable dies. And I went to Guitar Center yesterday, and they had the 201s, and I have a headphone splitter on my main output, and I put one ear for the 201s and one ear on the 202s, and the difference was amazing. And these 201s they suck. So if you're in the realm for new headphones, not the way to go. If you're gonna spend a little more and get the 202s,
and that name is big name.
Yeah, it is I can't listen to my own voice on it. I had to unplug I can't even monitor my own voice. It sounds so bad.
You don't think that it's just a defective set?
No, it's not a defective set.
Okay.
I know it's just got that tinny rattliness to it, and it doesn't sound good at all. Like I have to, for me to hear myself like I would on the 202s, I have to have my mic all the way up and then the gain all the way up, and it's just they're not loud. It's not good. I don't like them.
Which headphones are you using, Bruce?
These are called ears.
Yeah.
No, I'm getting my audio through a Bose System 3 setup here in my.
I don't know which ones are mine. Mine here is Vibe. I think they were $7 on eBay, but they sound good. But I just don't use them unless I monitor something, because other than that, it's coming out of a speaker up there.
Yeah. I don't see the point of spending hundreds of dollars on headphones. I mean,
no,
I'd rather buy a $20 pair of headphones 2 or 3 times a year.
Yep.
And have it die than to go out and spend $100 on one pair.
Yeah, because you always get something newer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense to me. So anyway, we started talking about batteries. So it turns out that some of the lithium-ion batteries that we all thought, they don't have memory, they do have memory. And if you leave the laptop or whatever it is connected all the time, if you, like your phone, if you don't let the battery drain every now and then, down all the way down, and then charge it, it will shorten its life.
Yeah.
So the information was wrong in the early days that the Li-ion batteries they didn't have a memory, so you could do whatever you want to them.
With the new phone that I got, I'm just gonna let the battery die every single week. I normally do it from Saturday to Sunday. I won't charge it Saturday night, and I'll just let it die tonight.
That's
and
good.
Charge it all up. Even though the batteries are replaceable.
Speaking about phones and Android, because I know you're talking about the Galaxy Note 2. I noticed a story yesterday in Ars Technica, and I'm looking at a kind of a version of it on SkyValleyChronicle.com about some malware that got into the Google Play Store after apps were submitted. And there are at least 32 apps that are affected that have been downloaded about 9 million times. And it's called bad news. I mean, that's the name of the malware. And phones that are infected with it connect without your knowledge to a remote server every 4 hours and report several pieces of sensitive information, including the device phone number and its unique serial number, known as the IME, or the International Mobile Station Equipment Identity. I was going to just tell you, we all know that as the IEMI or whatever. These control servers, which were still operational as of Friday, according to Ars Technica, also forced some phones to display prompts to install Alpha SMS, a computer Trojan that racks up charges by sending text messages to expensive services.
Interesting.
So, yeah, and I've been looking around to see if I can, find out if there's a way how you can tell that you may or may not have this badwares malware. I don't run a virus program. I did for a little bit on my Galaxy Note 2, but I'm not currently. Do you run any malware virus program on your Note?
No, I mean, obviously there's some sensitive information like the phone number or anything else, but I don't keep really sensitive information on my phone. I mean, my social security number isn't on there. I don't have any credit card number on there. I mean, I sign out of my PayPal account. I don't keep anything signed in. Mm-hmm. So I'm not too worried about it. I mean, my phone number is probably already out there anyway, so I don't see it as a big. I mean, obviously, I don't want the malware, but if somebody got my phone number, it's not like it's the end of the world.
I installed when I got it. There's a free Lookout on my Android, and it's there.
Yeah.
But talking about malware, did you hear what Malwarebytes did this week?
No.
Malwarebytes screwed up a bunch of computers.
Oh boy.
Thousands of PCs.
I ran Malwarebytes this week.
Thousands of PCs have been crippled by a faulty update from security vendor Malwarebytes that marked legitimate system files as malware code.
Oh boy.
The update definition meant Malwarebytes software treated essential Windows.dll and exe files as malware, stopping them running and thus knocking IT system and PCs offline, leaving lots of unhappy users and one firm with 80% of its servers offline.
Wow. Lawsuit?
What?
I said lawsuit?
I don't know.
I mean,
I think when you're signing your when you accept the license, it probably says something that you use it at your own.
It's funny. You buy this malware software and it ends up crippling your computer. It's like you wonder if it's sometimes better not to even have it.
Surely they've updated the update, right?
The what?
Surely they've updated the update by now.
I sure hope so. I mean, I'm glad I didn't use it this week.
But if they deleted something like if they deleted the Systems 32 folder, it doesn't matter if they did the update because you're not going to be able to get back into Windows.
Yeah, I know. You should though. I don't understand. You should be able to go to an earlier date.
Well, not if you can't get into Windows at all. Well, either way, you could still put the Windows install disk in and have it repaired, and it should repair.
Yeah,
that's what the repair disk does.
That's true.
But either way, it's not good.
It's not good. Absolutely, it's not good. And in a piece of software like this, that a lot of us would just like swearing by.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't run any malware software, but then again, I don't really download much. So, I mean, I understand that. I mean, I run Security Essentials, but for me, I mean, if I don't think people need a virus scanner. If they're not going on the internet and downloading files from random, share sites or whatever else, then I think that.
Well, Nick, it's not just for downloading the problem. The problem is visiting websites.
Visiting websites, yeah, true.
So if everybody goes different places and
yeah.
And that's what it's for. But if you don't do much, I mean, here on the computers over here, I run Security Essential, but it's disabled.
Oh, yeah, no, that's the only thing I don't.
The real-time protection is disabled. It just does a scan. I don't know, once a week at night. Every now and then, when I see that it's not green, I'll let it do the scan. But during the show, there's no reason for it to take So it's true, but it doesn't go anywhere. None of these machines go on the internet anywhere other than it has to do with the show, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But don't discourage people from using anti-malware and antivirus.
I don't think it's a discouraging thing, but I think like people freak out about, oh my god, I need malware and I need virus protection. But I mean, the best virus protection and the best malware protection is just watch what you're doing.
Right.
I mean,
Absolutely.
don't go to stevesfreedownloads.com and expect not to get a virus. I mean, just download from reliable sources and for the most part you should be fine.
Now, you're not talking about our Steve, are you, across the pond?
No.
Hey, I don't know if you noticed, Amnon, but Spence is in the chat, and he said he'll be calling in later with a special. So,
yeah, I didn't notice, but yeah, I see it. Yeah, he will. He just didn't feel up to par, and I guess now he's gonna go through the specials and write his stuff, and he'll be with us when he's ready, when he's good and ready. Good and ready. All right, let's see what else happened. This is from ZDNet, but it's very interesting. It's in two parts. They had another part later on. It says, you can think Windows 8 will evolve into something better, but the numbers show that Windows is coming to a dead end. This is from ZDNet. And ZDNet is known to take the side of Microsoft in the past. Stephen J. Von Nichols explains, the very day the debate came to an end, this headline appeared. IDC, global PC shipment plunge in worst drop in a generation. Sure, a lot of that was due to the growth of tablets and smartphones and the rise of the cloud. But Windows 8 gets to take a lot of the blame, too. After all, the debate wasn't whether or not Windows 8 was any good. It's not. The debate was over whether it could be saved. A week later, they came up with, and they said, it's really not the end of Windows. So they kind of backpedaled a little bit. But it's a lot of people are saying that the reason why PCs are not selling is because of Windows 8. I would say that it's a big reason why, but it's not the main reason. The main reason is because most people can still use their computers and they don't need to buy a new computer. I mean, Windows 7 is solid and nice. Most people still using XP, right? That's probably why. I mean, economy, you have to shell out $500, $600, $700, $800, $900. It's not, unless you have to do it, you don't do it. It's a lot of things all together. So, and then there's another one. It says, according to media reports about leaked Windows 8.1 code, the next incarnation of Microsoft flagship operating system will have an option to boot directly to the desktop.
And it's going to have a start button as well.
It has to.
Yeah, no, this is confirmed. I know for a fact that the next version is going to have...
People have discovered references to a can suppress start screen option in early builds of the Windows 8.1 registry. There's also speculation that Microsoft will re-implement the start button, though the claims come from nebulous sources. We're not saying that you are, Nick.
No, let's just say it's going to be in the next version of Windows.
Yeah,
let's just say that.
In light of recent reporting about the general distaste and design flows of Windows 8 user interface, will Microsoft update be dynamic enough to stop the current Windows exodus?
See, the thing is, I mean, I think I would buy Windows now if this is true that 8.1 is going to have a start button and a boot to desktop.
Yeah.
I will most likely buy a copy of Windows 8.
Okay, tell me why.
Because this, for me, I'm a power user, and I need the start button and the ability to boot to desktop.
No. I mean, if you're using 7, why would you buy
I wouldn't
8?
I wouldn't necessarily upgrade, but I would be more likely to put it on another machine that I don't use every day. Now that I know it has a start button and the option to boot to desktop, I will buy it for my laptop.
Just because
sure.
you want to have it, not because
Not because I need it.
Well,
Yeah,
there are
right,
despite its drawbacks, there are numerous improvements that makes Windows 8 better than Windows 7 on the inside under the hood. So,
Yeah, there definitely are.
Say again?
there are numerous reasons under the hood in why Windows 8 is better than Windows 7, given its drawbacks. Without the tiles and without the start button and stuff like that. But it is a solid operating system with good improvements as to security, runtime, the way it handles a lot of network features that is better than Windows 7.
But
you remember the Microsoft guy? He laundry listed a number of things that makes Windows 8 enhanced over Windows 7 as an operating system.
But for your average user out there, forget about corporate user.
Taking the average user, if you let them boot to desktop and they had their start button, they would all be better off updating to Windows 7. Windows 8.
If I never have to look at that tile thing, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Let's just say that I think people will be more keen to know that this looks just like Windows 7. It acts just like Windows 7, but it's got, like Bruce said, some upgraded features, and it just works a lot better. And if I don't want to use the tiles, I don't have to, because with the current version of Windows 8, you have to use the tile. You have to boot to that. So I think that's
unless you put a shell on top of it.
But we're talking about average consumers, and
the average consumer, correct. Now, Bruce, you've been using Windows 8.
Oh yeah, I'm using it right now.
So what do you see as a user that Windows 8 is better? And never mind interface.
Well, that's the cool thing about it. I mean, I'm not an average user, but I'm not a high-tech user.
Okay, so tell us
what I'm glad is I don't have to see anything different. It's what you see is what has created the problem with Windows 8. Not seeing the start menu, seeing the tiles and everything. But it's what I don't see. It's things like App Locker. It's things like Direct Access Branchcast. It's things like services for network file system that it uses. Virtual desktop infrastructure. There's a number of things that you don't see that are running and happening in the background that are just a notch above Windows 7.
Okay, but were they not running in the background in Windows 7?
No, these are things that are different in Windows 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're actually helping you be more productive, feel better, what?
Well, it's just out of sight, out of mind. I know that I'm using an operating system that they've made some serious and bona fide improvements to it. And that's where I have confidence. It's not what I see. It's not, it does boot faster. I do notice that. It boots faster than Windows 7. But, that's not one of the main things. It's got an improved task manager, Windows to go, secure boot, Hyper-V on the desktop, SMB3, improved multi-monitor support. There's quite a lengthy list of things that make Windows 8 better than Windows 7. Doesn't mean that Windows 7 is bad, but it's an improved operating system.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you actually see, and Spence in the chat is saying Windows 8 is cleaner OS. It has better memory usage, smaller kernel. So, I don't understand what Puppies is saying. How do I
hack it? Now, maybe he meant
hack
to say
it.
Hack.
No. 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. Now we're salivating over Google Fiber, right? Some cities. Most of us
moving to Provo. Are you moving to Provo?
And what?
Are you moving to Provo, Utah?
No.
Okay.
But listen to this. Sony Japan has announced that its own internet service provider, Sonet Entertainment, has launched what is thought to be the world's fastest internet connection for home use in Japan, with download speed of 2 gigabits on average. This speed is twice as fast as the competing high-speed fiber connection in Japan. The ultra-fast connection, known as Neuro, will cost an inexpensive 4,980 yen per month, which translates to $51, offering download speeds of 2 gigabits and uploads up to 1 gigabit.
It's crazy.
Isn't this crazy? Now, so are we moving to Utah or are we moving to Japan? You tell me, Bruce.
I don't know. Who needs those kind of speeds, though, really? I mean,
that's been my argument this whole time. First of all, you're going to need to upgrade you're going to need to upgrade your network card on your computer most likely, and you're going to need to upgrade your router. So,
right.
I mean, you're going to need an industrial grade router that's going to be able to
when you have 5 gigabits limit, you eat it up in 2 minutes.
Yeah. Downloading, I
don't know.
Gig movies in seconds.
It's just it is getting to the point where for internet use, it's really not necessary. But I don't know. There may be other. I can't think of any right on top of my head. But there may be other usage for real high-speed internet service that's got nothing to do with us sitting in front of a computer and doing something. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I hope that there will be. I mean, otherwise, I don't think these guys are just sitting there speeding up their internet service just to say, oh, we're faster. But maybe they do.
You see this at Auto China 2013, Volkswagen has announced this new Volkswagen that has an iPhone dock on the dashboard, and it comes with an app. Won't make me go back to an iPhone, though.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll keep my iAudi car mount and my Galaxy Note 2. Thank you very much.
With that iAudi car mount, is it suction cup based?
It's kind of both and. It does have a suction cup, and it's got a little lever you push down to tighten it up. Mm-hmm. But it's got this very, very tacky silicone. So it's a combination of the suction cup plus the tackiness of the material.
So so you can't have a case on it then.
You can't have a case on it? What do you mean?
Well, you can't have a case on the phone. It won't stick to it, will it? Or it might.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The iAudi, I've used large cases. In fact, I can put my Samsung Galaxy Note 2 in this wallet case.
Are you kidding me? That's the same case I have.
Okay. Well, you can, on the iAudi, you can fold it back like this.
Yep.
And it'll still fit in there and hold it.
It still will. Okay, that's what I was wondering, because I was going to pick one up, and I was like, I don't think I'd order. This case was $8 on Amazon.
Oh, yeah. It's very inexpensive.
It's a great case, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Alan is saying he'll probably just move to southern Alberta. Utah comes up to it.
I'll tell you, my daughter lived in Austin. I mean, Austin is a great town and everything, but I want to tell you guys, it gets blistering hot in Austin.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
The whole state of Texas is like that. I mean,
you might have a week of 112-degree temperature. Everybody's got to keep their drapes drawn just to, let the air conditioner be able to do its thing. So
I have a question for you, Amnon. Is your studio air conditioned?
Yeah.
Is
Well,
is it central air?
No,
No. What do you use? Do you just use a window unit?
it's a window unit.
Okay.
I mean, the room is only, what is it, 20 by 15, something like that.
Yeah. So I'm having an issue. My house has central air,
Yeah.
but I'm on the second floor, and the AC doesn't have enough to keep it cool during the. I mean, when it gets hot up in Albany, I mean, we can have a week of high 90s, low 100s. So I have to try to find a way to keep it cool during the summer.
How many first of all, is there a return in that air?
Yes, there's a return in the room.
And there's one vent.
Yeah, one vent.
Get a fan to go in the vent that will actually blow more. Of course, you're going to rob it from your parents.
I don't care.
But you can put a fan in it. Is it blowing pretty much? Hard?
I mean, the issue is it's just, I mean, it's going from the basement to the second floor, so it's going up 3.
It doesn't matter. That's
yeah, but it loses that power as it's going up.
Yeah,
There's one thing that will help you.
Okay.
And, please don't tell your mother I said this, but when she makes the transition in midlife and starts having hot flashes, it will get cooler in your second floor room.
But it's just
Trust
like
me.
it's I mean, like we'll set that. I'll come home and I'll be home from school and I'll put the air on like 60 degrees and it's still like 85 degrees up here. It doesn't keep it cool. My parents' solution is just turn everything off, and I'm like, oh, that's really useful.
No, but here's what you could here's how you could help some. What kind of construction is the house?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Is it brick on the outside or is it
No.
What is above you?
An attic.
Okay. Is it a finished?
Not finished. Not a large size attic either. It's just a
So what you could do is the heat is coming from the computers
Yes.
or computer.
Computer.
And the heat stays at the top of the room.
Yeah.
What you could do is you can put yourself an exhaust fan, a small fan, and I'm talking about something like comes on a big power supply, a 12-volt fan that's like maybe 8 inches, 6 inches. Not something that will suck the air out of the house, but just enough to take out that layer of hot air that's at the top of the room, and maybe have it on a small thermostat. I have one in my on our patio where I have one of the racks that I'm using here for the business. And it gets hot in there, so and this is like a suspended ceiling. I went and I got a bathroom fan, exhaust fan from Home Depot, and installed it. And then I ordered a inline thermostat. Okay. It's just a little thing that you connect inline, and when it gets to a certain temperature, it makes connection.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
And that would help. The thing that I do want to do here is I actually want to exhaust the power supplies and the fan on the computer, on the big computer, outside. Right, and this room was added on afterwards. It's actually raised.
Oh, okay.
So I can just make a hole in the floor and stick like a dryer hose through it and maybe do it that way. Because it's still, even with the AC, it still gets warmer in here than it is at the rest of the house.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, there's a lot of things. And why wouldn't you use a window unit?
They don't want me to. They don't want to pay for it.
Okay.
To be honest. Hold on one second.
No, that's fine. That's understandable. Understandable. Yeah, I would put a fan to suck more cold air up into the room. I hope his parents don't listen to it.
His mother just called him out to find out who's that man who said something about hot flashes.
Boy, I'm in trouble. I'm going to be in trouble.
Oh, goodness.
I guess you're not hearing what we're talking about when you get up, right?
What? What happened?
Bruce was saying that your mom probably called you to find out who's that man that's telling you to do this.
No.
I said,
It's just-
boy, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. For me though, it's like you exhausting the computer outside. I mean, that would help a little bit, but I mean, lights and I mean the thing that racks up the most heat, I think, is the monitors. I mean, I put my hand on the monitor screen, it's just warm, and that's just on all day. I mean,
Are there other rooms in the upstairs, or is it just your room?
no, there's 2 other bedrooms and a bathroom.
Is there a whole? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't tell, but I've got a ceiling fan behind me. And of course, there's the technique in the winter and the summer, how you reverse the blades and stuff like that. But I also have down on the floor here, a little portable fan that aims up at me. And I'm not to the place where I need it yet this year because it's not gotten hot enough. But when it does warm up, I'll turn that on low speed, and it will be kind of blowing some cooler air. And the cooler air is obviously at the bottom of the room. So
you do want to keep the air in the room moving, but if there is no outlet, it's just going to get warmer and warmer and warmer. Another thing, and I don't know if you have the ability to do it, Nick, is to install a fan above your door that will exhaust air into the hallway.
The hallway, yeah, that's because everybody during the winter or during the summer, everybody keeps their doors shut up here,
Yeah, so if you do that, it will send it into the house, and you can use a more powerful fan there, and you're not going to lose cooler air because it's still cooler than it is outside.
Yeah.
I have a squirrel cage fan on the floor right in front of the door, which goes into my office. And during the day, during the show I turn it off, but during the day it blows air into and it reaches, it's blowing it probably 25, 30 feet. I can feel it when I sit in front of my computer. But by doing that, it also circulates the air because air needs to come into the room from the office, which is a little cooler. So it evens it out. It doesn't really get that hot in here with the AC. And I just, talking about AC and noise, I just found out that if I use the ATR 2100, instead of the condenser mic or dynamic mic that is here for the hosts, you cannot hear the AC.
Yeah, these mics are amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
So I was always turning it down during a show, but this year I may not.
Yeah, just crank up that air conditioner because we all know that audio is not important. Since Mike's not here, I thought I should say that.
Mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets have long been considered the future of computing. A new projection from market research firm Gartner shows just how important the mobile market has become. According to the firm's estimates for 2013, Apple devices will outsell Windows devices for the first time this year. This estimate takes into account sales of Apple's iPhones, iPads, and Mac computers, as well as desktop, laptops, tablets, and smartphones powered by Microsoft's various Windows operating system. I don't understand that first time in years, but I guess there's something, something about it.
Hey, something interesting from tech regarding Google Plus. They keep making enhancements to the Google Hangout, And one of the things that they've done recently is that they have some kind of technology that knows when you're typing and automatically mutes your mic in a Google Hangout when you're typing. And as soon as you stop typing, it unmutes. When you start typing, it'll mute, and you get this little drop down that says, "We hear that you're typing, so you've been muted." And as soon as you stop typing, it goes away.
Oh, so people know when you're actually in front of your computer.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little terminology that we have for people who type loudly. They're called thunder tips, and it is, and they're using the built-in microphone on their webcam, right?
Yeah.
And jeez. And it's horrible. But now with this new, not everybody has it yet, but they're rolling it out, and it's very effective.
On the same line, there's a new app or an app for the Android that Smart Ringer.
Mm-hmm.
That will actually adjust your ringer automatically according to the ambient noise. So if you walk into a quiet room, it will lower it all the way down. If you're in a noisy environment, it'll come back up.
That's interesting.
I looked at it, but it's not a free app, but I think it was like $1 something.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things I like, and Nick, I guess you've noticed this about the Note 2, the first ring or two, it starts off soft, and then it gets louder after the first ring. So if you are able to get to the call before the second ring, it's not very obtrusive in a room.
You want to hear the funny thing is I haven't taken or made a call on this phone yet, and I've had it for almost 2 weeks.
Do you need me to call you, son? We need to live demo this feature.
I don't know. We should not demo this.
What do you mean you didn't take any calls on it?
I haven't taken any calls on it. Kids my age, nobody uses the phone.
You just text.
We text, yeah. And
I don't understand this. I really don't. I
don't understand it either because I cannot. Like, people will send me like long emails, and I'm just like, "Can you send me your phone number?" Like, because
right.
I just hate. I mean, I can't. It's like let me type a book out. It's so much easier just to talk. It's little stuff. I mean, I'm not having detailed conversations on how to set up web servers with my friends, so it's not really an issue.
Mm-hmm. Talking about high speed, within hours of Google's announcing that Austin, Texas would be the next lucky recipient of its Google Fiber initiative, AT&T released a statement.
Oh boy.
Indicating that it was willing to build a high-speed broadband network in the city too.
Oh boy.
AT&T.
This is what Google wanted. This is exactly what they wanted.
This is great.
It's amazing.
AT&T announced that in conjunction with its previously announced Project VIP expansion of broadband access, it is prepared to build an advanced fiber optic infrastructure in Austin, capable of delivering speeds of up to 1 gigabit per second, read the statement. But there is not so slight catch. AT&T wants whatever conditions Google received from the city of Austin to apply to them too.
That's not going to happen.
Google itself has provided precious little guidance about its future plans. We're still in the very early stages of it. Google CEO Larry Page told media and analysts during the company's January 22nd earnings call. Obviously, we are going to a small number of people, and so we are excited about the possibilities. But if Google Fiber keeps expanding, it could compel AT&T and other infrastructure providers to boost their broadband service and offer it on more reasonable terms, which is great. I mean, hey, AT&T, why would you do it in Austin? Why not do it in another city?
Because they're going to lose. See, the thing with Google Fiber is you're not necessarily going to have to switch to Google. You're just going to stay with your same ISP, and they're just going to give you the same price. That's the thing here is, I mean, this Google Fiber is a great idea, and it's bringing prices down. But I don't think they're gonna like if AT&T brings out this service, how many people are going to switch to it if AT&T is going to offer it at the exact same price and they don't have to get any new equipment?
That's true. Good point.
Can I ask you a question? I'm looking at this picture. I'm just following some tech stories on The Verge. And this particular story is about why police scanners are public. And, of course, I mentioned this earlier, how about people were following police scanners and utilizing technology following this Boston Marathon situation. But look at this picture here. This is a Michigan State Police. He's got a credit card swiper on the right-hand side of his monitor. Can you pay your fines now with a credit card on the spot? Is that what that's for?
I have no clue. I haven't gotten a ticket yet.
I don't know that it's a credit card swipe. Maybe they have.
It might be an ID. Oh, it might be Bruce. It might be ID, so that they have to swipe to give people tickets.
Or maybe all the information.
Driver's license, yeah.
Maybe their driver's license has a strip on it that reads all the information right there. I don't know.
Anyway, it's interesting.
Paid the fine right there with a credit card. Yep.
Yeah. We accept Discover, American Express, and Visa.
Sorry, no American Express.
Oh, man. I get kickbacks from Amex, though.
Talk about scanners and stuff. I think I told you before. When I had a scanner, a police scanner in the armored car that I was driving, that little tank. And when I would drive down the road and there'll be a police car somewhere, and it was interesting to hear, and said, okay, I just saw this tank driving by and has a barrel sticking out, and the dispatcher will come back and ask him, if it was black, and he was there and said that's Mr. Nissan driving around. Don't worry about it, because and I used to tell people every time I finish one of my military vehicles restoration, I will take it and show it to all the law enforcement and let them come in and check it out and see exactly what it is. So there's no need for somebody to come and send a policeman to say, hey, I just saw something that could be dangerous. And it was interesting on the scanner. When you said scanner, it reminded me of that. It was just interesting to hear them talking about it, and maybe one policeman to the other. And there were some pretty lively discussions that I started by just passing by a policeman at times.
I found this interesting story. It's baseball season, and I know Nick earlier had on a New York Yankees hat, right?
I did, yes.
Yes. It's amazing the technology that's involved in sports nowadays, whether it's NASCAR or baseball. But this interesting story from The Verge about a baseball player steals first base, confounding all scorekeeping software. It says, on Friday, Milwaukee Brewers shortstop Gene Segura performed an act of base-running lunacy so unforeseeable that play-by-play software couldn't even process it, says baseball historian David Vincent. He tried unsuccessfully to steal third. He ran back to second, now occupied by his teammate Ryan Braun, and seemingly got tagged out before sprinting all the way back and stealing first. Later in the inning, Segura tried unsuccessfully to steal second, but because the scorekeeping software wasn't equipped to handle the case of a runner going backwards around the bases, the office box score shows him being tagged out on third base.
So was he out, or did he get tagged out?
Ultimately, he got out. I mean, it was illegal. It says, by all accounts, the play appears to have been perfectly legal, just so incredibly unpredictable that decades of computer programmers never wrote a way to account for it. You don't run the bases from second to first, said Vincent, a longtime official scorer. Any software that processes play-by-play won't accept that.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to go backwards.
Well, because he had one of his own players was on second, so he ran around him and went back to first. And the software crapped out. Anyway.
Oh.
Interesting.
Let's see, what else?
Two of CBS's Twitter accounts were hacked by Syrian people.
It was actually
conflict
3
propagandists.
Yeah, I think it was 3 accounts.
Yeah.
It was what?
3 of their accounts were hacked. I believe it was 60 Minutes, 40 something, and then CBS
48
Denver.
hours.
48 hours, and then CBS Denver. They were all hacked. And we're linking back to some weird sites.
Steve is not here. Bruce, do you know anything about that CISPA that passed in Congress?
No, other than the fact that it did pass.
I know about it. I talked about it on my show Friday.
Oh.
Tell us.
So the article, wait, let me just read the article and then it says, despite the protests of Internet privacy advocates, the controversial Cyber Intelligence Sharing and Protection Act, CISPA, passed the House of Representatives Thursday. The vote was 288 to 127. CISPA saw a handful of minor amendments soon before passage. A representative for the EFF told the Daily Dot that while they were still analyzing the specifics, none of the actual changes to the bill addressed their core criticism. But also, as was the case the year before, on Tuesday, the Obama administration issued a promise to veto the bill if it reaches the president's desk without significant changes. So what is this all about, Nick?
There really isn't anything that's all. It's. I don't know how to word this. It's not that it's about anything, but it's like all these other bills that are trying to pass. What were the other ones? PIPA and SOPA or whatever. They're just these bills that they're trying to pass to. I believe CISPA deals with. I think this deals more with email. From what I've heard, it gives not necessarily just email, but like. A story that I read, it was like it gives police and law enforcement the access to be able to like go into databases without a warrant and then start looking up information about you. So it makes it so that the law enforcement necessarily that they're invading your privacy.
Wow!
And then they don't need any type of a warrant or anything to do it. They can just be like, hey, we think this guy might be up to something, and just be able to do their thing, and then you can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, that's a little bit. That's a little bit too much, like we used to say.
Yeah, I would agree.
People should be. I mean, authorities should be able to go into resources that can help them keep us safe. But yeah, I wouldn't say that they can just go in and do it on a whim like that.
Yeah, there's a difference between helping people and just needing and just having the access to be able to look up information because you can.
Right. Absolutely.
Groups like the Electronic Frontier Foundation are opposed to this for some of the privacy, civil liberties reasons that you've mentioned.
Yeah. Which is good. We need people like that helping us out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was talking with my friend John here about the gun control thing. Back to that, as far as the law, and I said I have no problem with them going to better background checks. And John was saying something that made a lot of sense. He said, yeah, but if we let them do this, then they're going to keep on going and for more and more and more and more. And that's the problem. And that's the same thing here.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing right now. Is, I mean, if all all of these things start getting passed, so if the police can look into databases, now they can log into your Gmail account, and you're required to give them your Google account information, and I mean it just goes on and on. There's no end to it.
Yeah, that could be bad. Absolutely. What else? Okay, that was about the phone. I got nothing. I went through everything that I was going to go through. I'll be there. Nice.
So, you were talking about tablets, right? Before you were talking about how tablets are, trying to replace computers or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think the problem with a tablet not being able to replace a computer, and I talked about this a few days ago with somebody. It's like, software. So, for example, for me, for games, I'll buy $60 game on my computer, right? And then there's a light version on my tablet, and I think that's the reason that a tablet isn't replacing a computer, is because the apps are not all there. They're light versions of the computer app. They're not full versions. So I can't necessarily be able to replace my computer with the tablet because of the lack of there being full apps available and being able to do everything that I can do on the PC on the tablet. I think that's the issue for me. Has anybody else noticed that?
Well, I mean, I don't think tablets will ever replace computers. It's nice. I mean, they will probably replace laptops, but your computer. I mean, maybe I should say not in my lifetime. There's a lot more to a computer than just the screen and gestures.
Yeah,
and there's just not everything is there. I mean, what happens if you want to watch a DVD or a Blu-ray?
But
what
the thing
do you
is now is these computers aren't even coming with that stuff anymore. I mean,
a lot of them don't. Yeah,
I've been looking for a new computer, and I'm looking for something with the CD drive, because there's times where people will hand me stuff and it's a CD.
Yeah.
So, for me, I'm looking for something that has that.
Yeah, you either get an external one to put on your computer, or you need to look for a computer that has it. And at that point, I mean, if you have to tote with you a CD player and I don't know what else, the tablet now loses its magic.
Yeah.
But it's great for a lot of other things. So,
I would agree with that.
It's like, would compact cars replace mid-size cars? It's two different things. I mean, you take a small car to go to the store, to go to work and everything. But if you have a family, you can do it. There's still a place for the full-size cars and the mid-size. It's for different usage. A bus.
Yeah.
What? Are they going to start running a Volt? No. So it's the same thing.
Yeah, there's not enough. There's nothing there yet for it to be able to replace.
Right.
Like you said, there's those things that you need, like
Absolutely.
CD drives and everything else.
Right.
So did you guys hear about the company Razer? They sell gaming accessories like keyboards and mice and all that stuff.
No, what happened?
So if you've previously bought anything from that company, you make an account on their site and you pay for it, and if you subscribe to their newsletter, they accidentally leaked a 90% off coupon.
Wow.
To all of the customers that have ever bought anything from their site, and they were accepting all of them. So you could get like there's a computer that they sell that's like it's a little over $1,000, and people are getting it for like $125. And I found it really interesting that they actually accepted the coupon. I thought that's a good they could have just been like, oh no, we released it, we didn't mean to, and the coupon's not valid. But I think it's a good PR move for them
absolutely
to accept because I mean they probably gained a lot more customers. People like I think that this was another site, like if Amazon released a 90% off everything on their site, they wouldn't accept it.
Are these coupons particular to a user that they were emailed to, or is there a possibility of fraud where they could be sharing these with other people?
I mean, no, it's on a per user basis. It was emailed to previous customers. I think that's from the article that I read. That's what I heard, and that's what I took away from it. I don't think you can send it to other people. I think they work unique codes.
Well, it's a matter of you have to stand by what you advertised.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It would have been a disaster if they tried to get away from not accepting them. It would have been a lot worse. I mean, you take a hit on losing some money, but I think that they either gained a lot more customers, or I think for me, I gained a lot more respect for that company. And the next time I'm looking for a mouse or a keyboard, I will most likely buy from them because I know that they stand behind what they do.
Yep. I'm not. Is some Bruce? Are you following the chat at all?
Back and forth.
I think we've been kind of neglecting it. So
no, they've been commenting on some of the things we've been talking about. CISPA, and some advice, some home improvement advice for Mr. Nick about his AC. And I think probably the most humorous one, where we were talking about the credit card swiper on the cop's car. Brent says, "Donut quick pass swiper." That's what it is. And here to save us, in just in time, with the Aurora Borealis behind him, is Spencer.
I was waiting for my hair to grow in because it was so short. I figured the longer I waited, it might not look so short. So, but waiting a few hours doesn't make much difference.
Good to see you, my friend.
Hey, good to see you guys too.
So how are you doing?
Okay. Probably getting a little nervous about tomorrow. So it's just
everything will be just fine.
Oh no, I know. You just go through all the prep and all that stuff, and when it finally comes down to doing it, it's
everything will be
make
just
sure everything
fine.
isn't what I'm not nervous I think the outcome is going to be fine. It's just as long as 2 months off from work is a big deal. I just have never done that before, and
just as long as they don't leave a little hole there that your brains is going to run out.
Yeah.
What's going on, Spence?
They don't find anything.
If you don't mind me asking, Spence, what's going on tomorrow?
I'm having was diagnosed with a condition. If people who want to look it up, it's called Chiari malformation. Didn't know I had it. It was from birth. And it got worse as I got older. And just having weird symptoms, dizziness and nausea, and just would come and go in waves, tingling in my hands and feet. It just started to get worse. It turns out it's just a crowding at the base of the brain, where it cuts off the normal flow of spinal cord fluid. So there's a procedure they can do to relieve it. It's called decompression. It's done. It does not actually brain surgery. So I have bad audio. Somebody's saying my audio is bad.
Yeah, it's still popping and it's kind of bad, but it's you. I wouldn't want you to reboot now.
Oh, well, I could try to switch microphones.
It's not the microphone.
You know what it almost sounds like? Do you have a lot on that USB bus? That's what it really sounds. It sounds like you're running out of bandwidth.
I don't have a lot running on the USB. Well, I could. Well, you know what? Bear with me a second. I'm going to switch to. I'm actually in a hub, so let me plug directly into the PC.
Yeah,
so
give that a try.
audio for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, because I've had that issue before with stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I had a camera that I connected to a USB bus, and it would flicker and flash. And once I switched it to an actual port on the computer, it went away. And I thought it was just not enough bandwidth on the bus.
Yeah, do you your computer probably has a USB 2.0 and 3.0 slots on it, correct?
Yes, it does.
Do you have a particular method for choosing which devices you plug into the 3.0 versus the 2.0?
I put all of my webcams on 3.0.
Okay.
That's about it, though.
Spence, you have a speaker going somewhere.
All right.
I think we're on your webcam.
Yeah,
Mike.
we're on your webcam, Mike. Oh, we don't hear you now.
All right,
Yeah.
give me a second. I'll switch back.
Oh, there we go. You're fine now.
Yeah.
There you
but
go.
we
No more
can't-
crackling.
But now we can't hear you.
Oh, we can hear him.
Hello. 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. No more crackling.
Well, that was it then. I was on a hub.
Yeah.
I rearranged my desktop so many times in the last week that I just plugged it into the hub, and that's
Yeah,
why
but-
there's nothing else off. Well, I take it back. I see there is. I have a scanner plugged into that. That's
Yeah.
why it's. Yeah. So.
But Bruce, I'll plug. I have a Hauppauge HD PVR, and it's a big gamer thing. It's used to capture gameplay, and I have two USB 3.0 buses, and I have my LifeCam Cinema and that on two separate USB 3 buses, and that's it for USB 3. I won't plug anything else into it.
I need to find a USB 3.0 hub. Although I have a couple USB 3.0 ports on the system board. And I've also got a card in there, a PCI card that has two USB 3.0s on it.
Do they sell USB 3.0? Oh, they do. Ooh, they're expensive.
Yeah, I have never seen one in a store.
They're really expensive. They're like $30, $40. That's a lot for a hub. I buy my hubs. They're like $5 or $6 a piece.
Yeah. So I just haven't gotten a 3.0 hub yet.
Spence, Steve is asking if the hub is powered.
If it's what?
Powered.
Oh yes, it's powered. Yeah, I wouldn't use this. I wouldn't use a passive one. It just never worked right. So yeah, it's powered.
Okay.
At one time, I had 4 cameras running off the same PC. It was good. It was okay. So it was 4 cameras and a microphone and a USB KVM, and it all was working very well.
Off of the hub?
Well, off of the PC.
Yeah.
I had the hub. The hub was kind of there for. The way I arranged my desktop was I have the hub.
Spence,
up on the desktop.
Do you have room for another USB card?
Probably.
Okay.
I think so. I can't remember it was an MSI board that I bought to replace the Intel board for that Core 2 quad. So I believe I think it has at least one more PCI slot. So
try to remember when you're here next time. So what else is going on?
I heard you guys talking when I first joined something about Microsoft Security Essentials. And I wanted to tell, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but I wanted to tell a success story with, I had somebody brought me a machine that had one of those, you have violated FBI and international law, FBI and what's the Interpol is going to come after you because you stolen music or whatever it was, and they got hit with one of those fake. But the price has gone up. It's unbelievable. $300 they're asking for.
I remember I had a grandparent that had one of these, and they're like, I need to throw my computer away. They're going to get me. And I think the price at that point was like $150, $200. But I mean, if you don't know people that do that, I mean, people pay this price. It's ridiculous. I mean, these people are making a killing with these malware things. It's ridiculous. I mean, you can make $300 or $400 from one person.
It's amazing that I know of a few people who have actually paid it.
Does it actually get rid of it?
When it was $50.
Did they get rid of it though?
Well, they don't. Just because you pay it doesn't mean it goes away.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is I've always wondered, like, so if I did actually pay, would they actually get rid of it? I don't see why they wouldn't.
No, well, they don't care.
Yeah, sure.
Got the money, and they have a credit card number. So this person that I knew, I found out what happened, and I told right away, call the credit card company, dispute the charge. It was fraud, and essentially put a lock on your card and request a new card. Or just at least talk to them, tell them what happened, and see what they recommend to prevent future abuse of the card. But what happened with this machine was the person called me and said, could you help? And I said, sure, bring it over. And I looked at it, and sure enough, as soon as it boots, you didn't even see a Windows screen. White screen, starts going with the FBI logo, Interpol logo, you must pay, or, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. All these threats, very official looking. I mean, they stole bits from all these different web pages. It was just really it's unfortunate they could spend so much time on a scam when if they put it to productive, honest use, it would be so much better. But so looking at that to the point where I couldn't even boot, I was trying to think of an alternative way to boot the machine to run a scan. Then no, let me just pull the drive out. I took a laptop that I use for lab work, which doesn't have a lot on it. So if it got corrupted, I wouldn't mind at all just reloading Windows 7 on it again. So I used that. I had an updated version of Security Essentials, as well as Malwarebytes and Super Antivirus and a few other things all on that machine. And so I just set it up as an auxiliary drive using a USB adapter, and I ran a scan against that drive. It was 6 hours, full scan. Wow. It found 12 exploits. And they all said severe, remove immediately. And I just let it do its thing. I removed them. And you saw it through. It's unusual to see Security Essentials find something because it does such a good job of stopping stuff from the first place. But as it goes through its scan, it pops up a little notice that says, potentially dangerous software found on your machine. See report at end of scan. And but it's not like some of these other antivirus programs where they have giant flashing, rotating lights and all this stuff telling you something's wrong. This was very low key alert. But the point was, at the end, it told me what they were. It let me research them, gave me information, and I removed them. And I ran Malwarebytes and a Super Antivirus against it again. The Malwarebytes found a couple of just adware things.
Windows files, you mean?
Yeah, and then Super Antivirus didn't find anything. What was that?
No, you didn't hear what we were talking about. Malwarebytes screwed up a lot of computers this week.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But after that, I put the drive back in the machine, booted it off network to make sure that it couldn't reconnect if it was going to try to reload the stuff. Had a copy of Security Essentials because they were running the free AVG virus software, which was not up to date.
That thing's garbage.
Installed that off net, ran it, didn't find anything. Put it on the network, updated it, ran it again, didn't find anything, and was satisfied that it fixed it. So,
well,
it did not. I used the Kaspersky rootkit finder, and it didn't find anything. So I was very happy. I mean, all this time we've been using this, and we don't hear a lot of issues with people who use it, which is great. Constantly hearing things.
Did you hear back from the people?
Yes. Oh no, I've talked to them. It's working fine. They actually they wanted to repay me somehow. I said, no, forget it. Don't worry about it. It's all right. For friends, I said it. If I say I'll do it, it means I'll do it. I don't expect. Don't worry about it. And they insisted on taking us out to dinner, and even then they said we were a cheap date. Because of what they said, the last time we had this, we had to take it in, and it cost us $200 to have the machine. And essentially, they had to reinstall the OS. They couldn't fix it.
Yeah. This might be an interesting question, Spence. How would you define for our listeners the difference between a quick scan and a full scan, other than what might be perceived to be obvious?
Quick scan, I believe, goes and does scans for things in active memory or things that are in the recently used.
In known
has different flags. Yeah, known spots that would normally harbor dangerous software. Whereas a full scan goes in deep into archives and libraries and just folders that might have been used just to install something and they're not used anymore. It goes and it scans every file. Mm-hmm. And the quick scan is really all you need because it's gonna look for recent activity. I don't think it may be that it goes back and looks at the archive flag or at the date of the file. So if this file is been out there for a while, I don't think they are suspicious that it could be the culprit or it could be something that needs to.
Yeah, that's what I always thought quick scan was. I thought it just looked at stuff that's been recently moved or installed.
Yeah, and how would you define a situation where it would be best to run a full scan in safe mode?
When you know that an exploit is installed, when you know there's something corrupting the machine, and you want to not fully boot the machine because this could sometimes. It depends at what level the exploit is running. If it's running at the kernel level, safe mode isn't even going to help, right? Because it has control of the machine. But if it's something that's just a program running, like this wacky exploit that threatened you, that was something that was running as soon as the operating system fully loaded in normal mode. So safe mode would help you in that it does not load. You can select whether you want to load network drivers. And other just want to have a command prompt. So it gives you different levels of from a boot perspective to give you different function.
What's a common solution for when you're infected at the kernel level?
Oh boy. Well, that's where it depends on the person.
Steve. Wait a second.
If you have
Hello,
access
Steve.
to another.
Hello, hello everybody. I'm on a different microphone. I'm on the cordless wireless one today.
That's very loud.
Is it? Okay, let me turn that down, sorry.
You sound like you're talking to us from the International Space Station.
Did you see that video of wringing out a wash rag in space, what that looks like?
Oh, I saw the news item, but I didn't click on it.
Hopefully that's better now. Is that better?
Yeah,
still,
okay.
Yeah, but it's still overdriving.
Is it? I'll go back down. That's right down very, very, very low now.
Yes, it is. It's still hitting the red.
Are you traveling down the motorway at like 100 kilometers or 150 kilometers per hour? Is that why?
No, I'm sat here in the living room. But
okay, that's good. I think the problem may have been on my end, Steve. I'm sorry.
I think Skype says it doesn't always adjust immediately. As soon as you adjust it, it doesn't sort of go like that. Sometimes it's like,
it's
it
fine.
gradually brings it. Okay, that's better now. Excellent. I was going to, I'm on a different mic today. I'm not on the Audio Technica 2100 USB. I'm on the Plantronics wireless. Apologise for calling in late, but I wanted to call in and, as Spence was saying there just now, when he was giving the difference between a quick scan and a deep scan, if you can remember that Eddie Murphy movie, the difference between undercover and deep, deep, deep undercover. When I say undercover, I mean deep undercover. That's the difference.
Did you say Plantronics?
Yes.
Spence, what happened to yours?
Oh, Actually, I should try it. I didn't. I forgot about it. I'll let me roll away here for a second. I'll bring it back and show it.
All right.
Did I show this last week?
No,
No, I didn't.
I thought you just got it.
I've got a Plantronics wireless headset here. This is the 995. That's the model number of it. So,
And why aren't you? I mean, when do you use it?
I haven't used this in over a year. I'm fixing to. In fact, I got a little Post-it note reminding me. I'm sending it to a friend at Calgary, Canada.
Okay.
I have a Logitech one that goes behind the ears. It's much lighter weight. This one's just too big and bulky for me, but it does work fine. Comes with a little USB dongle. So I'm not sure what model you're using there, Steve.
The one I'm using, I bought a long time ago on I don't know. I detest wires, so I wanted to get one that was wireless and something that was better than the standard wireless. I mean, Bluetooth you can get usually 10 to 20 meters if you're really lucky, and the Logitech wireless headsets and the standard Plantronics, again, same thing. You're lucky to get 10 or 20 meters. Sorry, feet, not meters. This one uses the same technology that they use on digital cordless telephones. So it's DECT, as they call it, digital enhanced cordless telephone, which gives me up to 100 meters.
Wow.
So I have the Plantronics Savvy Desk. They call it Savvy Desktop.
All right, yeah, that's a good one.
It's excellent. It uses DECT. It has 2 modes. You can press the button on the top for PC mode or phone mode. So it will actually be a phone handset plugged into if you've got a headphone jack on your phone, or it goes in line with the handset of the phone if it's a less sophisticated phone.
Show it again.
You press PC mode. Oh, this is a different one. This is the Savvy one is a little bit larger. And it can only be on my desk. It's got to be plugged into power. But it is decked, and I can walk around the whole house out in the yard, and I can be on a call. But the stuff that I just got from Plantronics, I helped set up a briefing. We have someone who's assigned to Avaya who covers Plantronics to help us. Obviously, we sell unified communications, and we want to have the best customer experience. And Plantronics wants to seed their products out there, so they have all kinds of programs for trials. If you're going to buy, potentially you're a buyer, they'll give you the first 5 headsets free, and then if you buy, or they give you buy 5 headsets to try them, and if you buy more, the first 5 are free. So there are different programs like that. But what they do is they seed it out there with engineers so that we can show customers. So they gave me one of these 2 things. They gave me this Voyager, which is the latest version of the Voyager headset. And it's in and of itself, it's Bluetooth, but it has, instead of having like rocker buttons or whatever, it's got physical switches on it, which I think is a fantastic idea for, you're in the car or you're doing something, you want to know that you're switching something, you're feeling the right button. Ergonomically, they've changed it a bit, and it's much nicer. It actually has 3 microphones in it. So it does a great job of capturing sound, great echo cancellation, and it talks. When you plug it in and put it behind your ear, it says 7 hours of talk time connected to phone number 1. You get a notification of incoming calls. It talks to you to say incoming call. And it's really nice. It's got a magnetic base charger, kind of like the Mac has, where you just drop it in a charger and a magnet pulls it down. But the thing that I really like, this is an option, is it comes with a case. It comes with this case, and the case has a Bluetooth dongle for if you want to use it with a PC that does not have Bluetooth. But it also is, the case is a charger. You charge the case up. It's got a connection on the side for USB. It will charge the phone 2 times from the case. So you plug it, you exhaust it. Say you're traveling, you're on the road, you exhaust it, you plug it in, it charges it, you take it out, you use it again for 7 or 8 more hours, you charge it again, and you finally then recharge the case. So that, I think, is really clever.
So why aren't you using it now?
Oh, I forgot. I just forgot about it. The other thing that they gave me was this very impressive USB speakerphone, which is a cordless speakerphone that has, depending on the functionality of what you're connecting to, it's got volume up, volume down, mute. It's got a call button, but it will connect. It has its own little dongle. You plug it in, and all you have to do is turn it on. There's nothing to do. You watch the dongle blink, and when the dongle goes solid, you know it's on. So I can switch to it now. We can try to see how the quality is. I've used it for several video conference calls, and people are telling me that the quality is good. I don't know if it's going to be as good as the Audio Technica, but if you're traveling or if you are using it for just casual use, if you're in the car, for example, and you want to use the speakerphone, or you're sitting at a desk somewhere and you want to have a little bit higher quality than the speakerphone that's built into your telephone, or using your PC. But all right, I'm going to mute and I'll try to switch over to this, and we'll see how it works.
Yeah, are you going to use it? Is he going to use it Bluetooth? Yeah, I hope so, because I'm interested. I've been really curious. I haven't been able to find a really good Bluetooth mic option for my laptop or my desktop here. Often, or at least once or twice a week, I'll go to a local coffee house to do some work. And every once in a while, they'll be cranking up the espresso machine, and it gets kind of loud. And this last week, I actually brought my Audio Technica ATR 2100 to the coffee shop. Now, it looked a little bit funny. People would see this guy over at the table with a microphone in front of his laptop. But it has the best way of blocking out ambient noise in the coffee shop when I'm doing a VoIP call.
Are you getting any echo from me now?
Oh, big time.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, let me switch to the speaker inside the Plantronics. Okay.
It sure doesn't sound like it's coming from that you're talking through the Plantronics, though.
I am now. And now I'm using the Plantronics speaker, and I got to tell you that the sound is amazing. It's better than what I was using on the PC.
So it's not just a speaker.
No, it's a microphone. It's actually got 3 microphones built in.
Okay.
So now, how is my sound? What do I sound like?
Like in a tunnel.
Oh, it is like that?
Sounds like you're coming through a webcam mic. Can you hold it up again, Spence, so I can see it? I was away from the keyboard when you held it up just now. Well, if you did hold it up.
Yep.
If not, why not?
Got a bunch of controls on it.
Talk to it. Talk to it.
All right, yeah. That looks quite impressive.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Put it behind you and talk.
Like this?
I don't know that you are using it.
You aren't.
No, I'm using that Transmit Plantronics BT300C.
I don't know. When you talk right to it, it's not getting it doesn't change the sound.
No.
When you
tap on it.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
I'm
tap on it.
Volume.
Tap on it. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it sound any better? Because it was at the very low end of the manual sound.
You still sound like you're in a room.
But it does sound a little better.
Yeah, that's the problem with any speakerphone mic is it's trying to balance itself between echoing and it's going to sound very ambient and hollow.
But the sound coming out of it is amazing.
Can you use it just as a speaker?
Yeah. Yeah.
Seg3 says, stand on your head and face east and yell.
I'm back on the mic and I'm using it as a...
And that's Bluetooth or USB wireless?
It's Bluetooth. It will work. It will connect to a phone. It will pair with a phone, but they give you the dongle for a PC to use for PC.
That's very impressive, actually, considering it's filtering out what you're hearing and not retransmitting it. That's generally the biggest problem, but that's doing a very good job of it.
Would you mind? Could you test the Voyager Bluetooth?
Yeah. I'll set that up. Sure.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
Well, for anyone that's interested in this one, I've mentioned it before on the show. This is by far my favorite headphone or headset. because it is wireless, and like as Spence was saying there with the one that he's got that is decked, DECT, you can go 100 meters away, so you can walk all over the house, up the garden, and you've got two-way communications, not just one way. It's the headphone coming in and the audio going out. Generally speaking, the quality is pretty good. I mean, it's telephonic, slightly better than a telephone quality.
Now, is yours Bluetooth wireless or USB wireless?
This is decked wireless, as I was saying, the digital enhanced cordless telephone. That's what gives you up to 100 meters, but it connects via USB.
Mm-hmm.
And the talk time on it is about 9 hours, and I've actually had almost 9 hours out of it. My throat got very dry, and I had to stop before I got to the 9-hour mark.
You had to recharge your body.
Yes, I needed a cup of coffee by the bucketful.
Let's see.
So
it's really cold here today. I've actually put my open fire back on because it's really chilly.
How am I sounding?
Good.
Talk some more.
All right, 1, 2, 3. I'm raising the volume. It wasn't very low. Testing 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the Bluetooth one.
This is the Voyager Bluetooth. It's funny. It shows up in Skype as the same device because it's using the same. It's the same Bluetooth adapter is used for both, and it's when it paired. It came on and it said power on, 7 hours of talk time. You are paired to phone 1 and PC. So it's paired to my iPhone is sitting over on the desk, so it's actually paired to both.
Right.
I didn't realize it would do that.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Better than most Bluetooth headset mics that I've heard through a PC.
Yeah, they claim that this has, because it's got 3 microphones in it, it does a very good job of filtering noise. Maybe one is just to monitor ambient sound.
Turn around like 90 degrees and keep talking.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Because it changed before.
1, 2,
when you turned the other way, it seems like it was changed.
Oh, it's all the same relative to my face.
It's fine. No, now it's not changing. I don't know why. Maybe it was just imagination.
That's one of the very good things with that, or this type of headset, is that the microphone always remains at a constant distance from your mouth, no matter where you're going, where you're looking. Because a lot of people, if you've got somebody in the studio and you have a mic in front of you, very often they'll look at something that distracts them away. And of course, then the volume is fluctuating all the time. With this kind of headset, it doesn't. And if you can move about, move your head, twist your neck, whatever, and it doesn't affect the overall volume or which is very good.
Spence,
this is the Savvy one. This is slightly larger. This is the decked one that I can wander around the house with. It's just as comfortable. I mean, it's basically the same design. It's just slightly larger. I think it's got a bigger battery in it, and probably the electronics for the decked are a little more complicated than the Bluetooth because of the distance. Probably has a better antenna.
Spence, go ahead and raise your volume in Skype more. Is there any noise in the room?
All the way up. Actually, there is some noise. Let me go.
We can no. We don't. I don't hear any noise. Oh. This is why I was wondering. Anybody hears any noise?
No.
It's doing a really good job of filtering out any ambient noise it may be.
I'll tell you another interesting Bluetooth thing with, and this will be good for Nick. I have the Samsung Galaxy Note 2.
Yes.
And sometimes I'll take this to the coffee shop and I'll pair a Bluetooth keyboard, a Bluetooth mouse, and a Bluetooth headset, all 3 Bluetooth items, to my Samsung Galaxy Note 2. However, when I have 3 items paired to it, and one of them being the Bluetooth headset, which for me is a Jabra, when I start moving the mouse, and I'm listening to a Pandora station or whatever, I start moving the mouse or typing on the keyboard, the audio starts to get a little bit intermittent because it just can't handle. But the fact that you can pair 3 Bluetooth devices, going back to what you were saying, Spence, how that's paired to your desktop and your iPhone at the same time, it's pretty incredible. And I was able to maintain 3 connections. It's just that the audio wasn't as good when I was moving my mouse around. on the Note
I
2.
noticed that the time it takes to pair on this is much faster. All the other ones I've ever had in the past took several minutes. I won't say minutes, but you would sit there watch the phone, and it would, the little wheel would turn, and finally it would pair. This pair, you turn it on, it pairs.
Mm-hmm.
It must be the device because the phone is the same.
Yeah. I have some quick pairing devices, so much to the point where if I'm trying to conserve battery, I'll have the ringer, the phone ringer, the VoIP ringer set to my speaker, my normal speaker on my PC, and I'll hear the phone ring. I'll reach back here, flip on the switch, and I'll be able to answer. It will pair, and I can answer the call before the second ring is over.
Wow.
Yeah.
The thing with Bluetooth is it was never really designed. I mean, I know they're improving it in the last couple of revisions they've made of it, but it was never really designed for anything more than connecting things in very close proximity.
Yeah.
Wireless from like a headset to a phone, which is invariably in your pocket. But they're now trying to get it so it's more amplified, that it can transfer across, your audio to your hi-fi and your TV sound and things like that across the room or into another room. So they're definitely improving the specifications of it, and it looks like it's going to go towards it. But the older Bluetooth stuff was never really designed from going any further than your pocket to your head. So just a few feet.
I have several versions of older Bluetooth USB adapters and such sitting in a drawer because they just never worked right. They never worked. They were never the headphones or headsets that worked with telephones. All the ones I've had always worked well. They may have paired slowly, but they always worked well. But the USB Bluetooth adapters for older PCs that didn't have Bluetooth built in have never worked properly. These from Plantronics now, I plugged it in, I turned on the headset, and that's all I had to do. I didn't have to pair and do anything. I did have to authorize it on the phone. In other words, select the device and say this is an authorized device. But on the PC, it just connected. Didn't ask me anything. I do have a little, let's see, what is this little icon down here? It actually says, I've got an icon at the base of on my system tray that says PLT Legend, talk time 7 hours.
Mm.
So it's actually reporting back. And I didn't load any software. It just popped up. Interesting. Well, good stuff.
So
And
do
I
you have
have
specials?
I do. And I was going to say, I have a person lined up, the same salesperson that I worked with to arrange the knowledge transfer for us engineers is going to find somebody from Plantronics to come on the show.
Now, yours is the Legend that you're using right now?
The Legend, yes. I can tell you the exact model. It's the relatively new one. Hang on 1 second.
Yeah, I can see the charge case is $30, and Amazon, the headset itself is $97.95.
Yeah, the list is $149 for the now maybe that's the bundle, but it's the Voyager Legend UC is the one I have, and that comes with the charger case. So let's see if there's a
sure it's Legend, not Leg End.
Excuse me?
I say, and you're sure it's Legend, not Leg End?
Yeah, Leg End. Yeah, that's the off-brand.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Voyager Legend UC B235 North America. So that's the one that I got, and this is called the Callisto. And there's a model number here someplace. But if you go look at Callisto, there's only one version of it. But yeah, it's every so often Plantronics updates their stuff and gives it out to engineers, and it's always appreciated. But we make sure we use it when we go to visit customers and show them. They gave us a little history of the company, and they were, they've been making headsets for a long time, and not just telephony. Neil Armstrong wore a Plantronics headset apparently when he landed on the moon. So when you heard him make his famous speech, he was talking to a Plantronics headset. So they've been in the business a long, long time.
So you see,
Okay.
you see, Steve. I mean, the one that he had. Forget about 100 meters.
Yeah. Well, I think that was wired. Wired to his suit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
PC
more like,
Magazine gave it best of the year.
Quarter of a
puts that
million
into
miles.
perspective, really,
What's that,
doesn't
Bruce?
it? I can
PC
talk
Magazine gave that model the best of the year award.
Yeah. It's just the little things about it, how they changed it. The volume control, instead of being like where something you press down, or it's very easy to identify where it is on the headset, because instead of being like I said, a toggle, it is a physical switch that you move up in a slot to raise the volume or down in a slot to lower the volume. The same is true with the power switch. It's a physical sliding switch. So there's no question that you've actually done something. You can tell. I like that a lot, just with the feeling. It's got a little button inside the microphone, and it's also got an answer button right here. So it's does a great job.
So
are we ready for specials?
We're ready for specials, sir.
All right, I'm gonna wash myself out here of no color. All right, it's a one-pager today, but there's still some good stuff. H.H. Gregg has a 10-inch 4 gig Android tablet for $129. They've also got the Samsung Galaxy Tab 2. This is a 7-inch Android tablet with 8 gig of memory for $199. At Best Buy, they've got an HP 15.6-inch AMD quad-core laptop. Now, the reason why this is significant is it's got a couple of interesting features on it. It does come with 6 gig of memory, 750 gig hard drive, but it has a backlit keyboard, which can be very handy. And many times I'm sitting there watching television or whatever and doing things on the computer and have to have an extra light nearby, but I can't see what I'm typing. So I like that a lot. I know that many of the Macs, high-end Macs, would have that. This also comes with speech recognition, which I'd be interested to see how well it works or what it does. So that's $499, $100 off. They've got a 14-inch Acer i5 Ultrabook with touchscreen for $599, and that comes with 6 gig of memory, 500 gig hard drive. They've got a Brother multifunction printer scanner fax copy of $99, save $50. They've got a 20-inch HP monitor for $89. That's $30 off. 8 gig DDR3 notebook memory for $49. That comes with 2 physical memory DIMMs. That's at Best Buy. At Office Max, they've got a HP DesignJet printer scanner copier with duplex printing and Wi-Fi and smartphone printing, $69, $30 off the regular price. A Brother wireless inkjet with print scanner, fax copy, $59, save $40. And they've also got a Brother USB attached laser printer, mono laser printer for $69. They have a Toshiba 17.3-inch AMD A6 quad-core processor, 6 gig of memory, 640 gig hard drive for $399. That's $100 off, plus a $150 prepaid card. Western Digital 2 terabyte network drive for $149. That's 20 off. That's at Office Max. At Tiger Direct, they have did I distinguish between Best Buy and Office Max as I was reading this?
You were just saying at Office Max.
Yeah, but I don't know when I stopped it from Best Buy and went on to Office Max. I was a little bored. After the notebook memory, it became Office Max. I think I said it. Sorry. I'm a little fuzzy. All right, Tiger Direct. They've got a bunch of monitors on sale, as they always do. They have good prices on monitors. But one especially good one today. They got a 16-inch LED for $59, a 23-inch LED monitor. This is an Acer monitor for $109. That's $30 off. And they have a very interesting accessory I'll mention in a second to go with that. 24-inch LED for $169. They've got a new. It's a new product. I haven't seen it in the stores yet. It's a monitor stand. It's either dual or triple monitors. It sits on a stand and it distributes the monitors as a single stand, balances the monitors. I would guess the base has to be pretty large for the triple one. But a dual monitor stand is $69, triple monitor stand for $99. Had I known about this a while back, I think I would have investigated that because that would have helped me a lot as I built out my desktop. But great idea. They've got Kingston USB, 8 gig USB, and either Kingston 8 gig of memory, flash memory, either as USB, SD, or micro SD for $4.99. They've got a CyberPower 1000 VA UPS battery backup for $99. That's $50 off the regular price. iOmega 2-drive net storage enclosure for $79. Somebody mentioned last week about building, was it Pete, I guess, Amnon? Was mentioning about network drive, building your own network drive, buying an enclosure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so $79, iOmega. I'm not sure what technology they use, how it presents the drives on the network, whether you need a client or it's just simple Windows networking. It would be something worth investigating. That was the one thing I did not like about a network drive device I had purchased a couple of years ago from Cisco that had, you could plug in USB drives and share them on the network, but it required a special client, a Samba client. So it was not using native Windows networking. So that made it, it wasn't as good as I had hoped, but it still worked. It did what it was supposed to do, which had a load client. 50-pack of DVD plus Rs, $9.99. That's the cheapest it's been in a long time. I mean, the price of discs had gone up. Used to be able to get just fantastic deals on DVDs, and I still have a bunch of them in my closet here, but I am actually starting to run low. I've been using DVDs almost exclusively now. I haven't used CDs in a while. 8-port gigabit Ethernet switch. Bear with me. That was a catalog thing. I didn't write the price down because the next thing I saw just so distracted me. $59, D-Link, 8-port switch. They have, for $149, a TrendNet 52-port gigabit switch. It says Web Smart Switch, $149. That is incredible. I mean, that commercial switches with that many ports of gigabit, I would say the kind of switches that you might use for in a business sense would cost much, much more than that. But $149, I just wonder how good that is. But 52-port gigabit Web Smart Switch for $149. There's $100 off. Excellent. That's at Tiger Direct. Finally, at Staples, they've got a Toshiba i3 15.6-inch laptop, 6 gig of memory, 640 gig hard drive for $449. They've got a 20-inch Acer LED monitor for $99, a 21.5-inch Samsung LED monitor for $129. Toshiba USB 3.0 1 terabyte portable drive for $79. That's $60 off the regular price. And finally, a 2 terabyte desktop drive for $99, 3 terabytes for $119. So if you're not using one of these drives to back up your files, get with the program. But as Mike said, sometimes you have too many backups. You're not really sure, where they are, how old they are, how many copies you have of stuff. So as you build your backup plan, keep a notebook that you know what you've done. Draw a little map. It's very helpful.
I always mark a date or something like that on it. I've let Skype adjust my audio settings automatically. So if it's a bit wonky at the moment, it should sort itself out in a few seconds. It's good to do more than one backup because, backups do fail. Yes. But then, as Mike was saying last week, you've got so many, you think, hang on, which was the oldest one? And then you've got to plug them in and check the date and the time. And so, just if you're going to be on different drives, organization's the key. Stick them in folders or label the drive appropriately. Sorry, Nick, we keeping you awake?
No.
Is the mic all right now? It was barely moving on the green lines on the sound
here
window, but now the green lines are bouncing all over the place. But then Skype's obviously handling the volume level. Good.
Who just called in?
Hey, Amnon, it's Mike in Fuquay.
Hello, Mike in Fuquay.
Got a couple of questions for you. Trying to add a hard drive to an older system, a SATA hard drive. I just got it. When I put it in, it's the first time I've ever added a SATA drive, so I don't know if there's anything special about them. But the BIOS, half the time, doesn't recognize it. The other half of the time only sees like 4 gigabytes. And in no case will Windows recognize it. Anything I could try? Change the cords. I swapped it with the existing hard drive. Nothing seems to work. I'm thinking it's a bad drive, but I just wanted to make sure there wasn't something I missed.
4 gigabytes. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah.
What size drive is it?
It's a 250 gig drive, but the BIOS, when it does recognize a drive, only says it's 4.1 gig.
How old is the machine?
And when I go to Windows in that situation, and I go to disk management, it won't initialize.
No, it
tells the I/O error.
Faulty. Is it an old machine and
It's an
Windows
older
XP?
machine, yeah.
It sounds like the BIOS is just having a problem. What you could do is check in the BIOS itself. If I remember correctly, on a lot of the older machines, you could either switch it to the hard drive to be in SATA mode. I can't think what the other mode was now.
There's SATA, IDE, or HC, whatever.
Well, it's running now with a smaller SATA drive.
Okay.
That's about an 80 gig.
Sounds like the drive maybe.
Sounds like defective then, yeah.
Yeah, because if it's 250 gig, that's no problem. Even on a very old BIOS, that would recognize 250. It's only when you start to go up in big sizes that it wouldn't recognize, but 250 is not massive.
Yeah, like I said, half the time the BIOS won't even recognize it. Half the time it says 4.1. But I just wanted to make sure. Like I said, I switched the cables with the existing drive, and nothing seemed to help. So I was figuring it's a bad drive, but I just wanted to double-check with somebody else.
You've tried a different cable and power cable, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I put the power cable from the existing drive in along with the SATA cable from the existing drive. Didn't do any good.
Right.
Still doesn't work.
Try it in another machine just to completely rule it out, but it sounds to me like a defective drive.
Yeah, and I also tried all 4 of the SATA ports. Didn't make any difference. I thought maybe a port was bad. I'm going to return the drive and see if I can get a new one. The other question concerns a keyboard. I have an old keyboard that has copy, cut, and paste keys on it. Is there a way to take a new drive and remap the keys to cut, copy, and paste? 3
you just
keys
need
I
a
don't
mapping
use.
software.
Everything I've looked at says you can't remap to a combination of keys.
With mapping software, you can map a set of keys. So you could map Control V to
Control
F1
V,
or F2
C
or whatever
something.
you want to map it to, and it should work
Do you
fine.
happen to know what software? I've looked at a couple, and they say that you can't.
Are you getting a new keyboard? Is that what the issue is?
Yeah, I got a different keyboard that doesn't. I haven't been able to find one with dedicated set of keys, and I've gotten used to using them.
Yeah. I have a Logitech keyboard, and it's got G keys on it. Let me see if I can find a mapping keyboard software.
That happens to be what I'm looking at. Is a Logitech keyboard is the new one.
I have the G110, and it's got 12 G keys on it, and those keys are fully mappable. A software that I'm looking at right now, it's called Sharp Keys.
Sharp Keys?
Sharp Keys, yes. Let me see if it's free. It should be. Yeah, Sharp. If you just Google Sharp Keys, there's a sharpkeys.codeplex.com. I'll put it in the chat room. And this looks like
and that'll allow you to map a key to a combination of keys.
There's a great website called makeuseof.com.
Mm-hmm.
And they have on here for keyboard remappers, it's Sharp Key. Sharp Keys is one. There's another one, Map Keyboard, and one called Key Tweak.
Yeah.
Map
Sharp Keys
Keyboard
is good. I enjoy it.
Tweak Key.
Let's see who just called in. Maybe somebody to help you with that.
Pete.
Who's this?
Pete.
Hey,
Can
Pete.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Control X cuts. Control C copies. Control V paste. All keyboards.
Well, that's not the issue. He knows that that's what it does, but he
That's-
wants to map it to. So if he presses F1, it will automatically do the Control V command.
Yeah, I want to use like the print, scroll, and pause keys for cut, copy, and paste.
Any random set of keys that you never use.
Even poor old Linux does that.
That's not the point, Pete.
As usual, I missed again.
All right, I'll check out those three products, and I'll look at that Make Use of website and see if I can figure something out. And then I'll return that hard drive. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it is bad.
Yeah, is that you just bought it?
Yeah, I got it on eBay. The guy who was selling it says it was new, but I have my doubts because it wasn't even in a one of those sealed bags. It was just wrapped in bubble wrap.
Well, it's one thing to be grateful for in this respect is it's a new one and you've not stored any data and lost it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for your help.
Thanks for calling.
It's better to find it out before you get it installed than it is to find it out 3 months' time with all your precious data on it gone.
For sure.
So what's going on, Pete?
Well, the sunshine. It's going to be 81 today. They just left for Howard's Beach.
Oh, shush, I've got my blooming open fire on here. It's so cold in England.
It's always cold in England.
And all I can do is turn and point my fingers and go neener, neener.
Well, it hasn't been bad the last few days, but today I was sort of sat here thinking, why am I sat here in the cold? Put the damn fire on.
Well, yesterday it was cool and rainy here all day. So we're due for some warm weather. It's going to be in the low 80s the rest of the week. And that's why I moved to Florida, I guess. My poor bones can't handle it anymore.
Yeah, I think we've been averaging about 50 degrees here, so not too bad.
There's plenty of room. There's plenty of room down here. You're welcome to move.
I did like Florida when I came over in '99. I must admit it was very, very nice, but I don't know. I don't like the gun situation you have over there. It's kind of scary when you're from England, where you don't really see any.
Well, what can I say?
It went.
But you've got Disney World and Universal Studios, SeaWorld and that, so yeah. Yes, we lost Maggie Thatcher. She went.
That was a shame. But we all got to go eventually.
Absolutely, yes. Everyone comes into the world and they've got to leave at some point.
Yeah, got better things to do.
Two things that are guaranteed in life. Death and taxes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And donuts.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, please.
Forgot the donuts.
All right.
Amnon, good to see you guys are all doing okay.
Everybody's doing fine, thanks. I hope
wonderful.
all you guys are.
Yeah, everybody's jumping up and down.
Wow, Carrie's saying that it's 52 degrees in Jersey.
It's like I said.
That's cold.
Neener.
It's pretty chilly here too. I mean, I just let the dogs out, and when I opened the door, it was, ow.
It was 47 when I went out to get the paper this morning.
Yeah. It's fine. There's time for the hot weather.
Yeah.
It'll come.
Everybody says it gets too hot down here. Last year, it never got over 92 here. This year, it's already been 92.
Yeah.
Oh, well, enough about weather.
Yeah.
And Spence, I love Voyagers.
Yeah.
Plantronics
good.
is the best. I've got a
I've
Voyager Pro
I've used
Plus.
Jabra, and I've used some off-brands, and I really like the Voyager. Always seems to be the one that I will take with me.
I got onto Voyager about 5 years ago. But you know what's strange? Is all the new smartphones are so smart they can't auto answer they can't auto answer a call.
I thought
None
you
of
can
them.
set them up to do that.
Nope. Sorry. Or at least, let me put it this way. Android 2.3 and below won't auto answer a phone. But I found an app that you can that allows you to write a script that you can run that will do anything on the phone. Shut the phone off. Well, not off, but it will block calls. It'll block particular calls. It'll do anything. It's called Actions.
Whoops. And he dropped out.
Yeah, another great Android phone app is called Sanity.
Yes.
Sanity.
What does that do? I've heard about that.
It does a lot of things. It'll allow you to block people, auto answer, announce who's calling, automatically record a call, save to multiple different types of formats. A lot of things. Very feature filled thing.
Does it involve being root? Do you need to be rooted for it?
Not for Sanity, I don't believe.
Okay. Are you rooted on your device, Bruce?
I am.
What root are you running?
I'm not running a custom ROM. I'm just rooted.
Oh, okay. You're not running a custom ROM.
No. I'm stock, but I'm rooted, which allows me to run the AirDroid Titanium Backup Pro, which is the #2 top paid app for backups and stuff like that on Android.
Did you have an issue rooting your Android device?
No,
because I had a real time trying to root my my Galaxy Tab 2. It was a real pain. It must be easier with the Note.
I thought you were saying rude, as in, obnoxious, that kind of thing. I was thinking, no, it couldn't possibly be rude. I'm British. But when you say rude, you meant rude, not rude.
Yeah.
It's the
gotcha.
auto rude feature. When you don't like somebody, it detects that you put it in their profile in your contact list to automatically insert rude gestures and sounds.
Yeah, it does a Simon Cowell impression.
That's exactly it.
That's rubbish.
Simon and what's his name? Piers. What's his
Piers
face?
Morgan.
Pierce Moron.
Yeah.
Piers Moron, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Sorry.
919-518-9773.
I was just rooting. I use the same term. Rooting through my drawer here, and I found something that I wanted to show that was a blast from the past. This was my very first 1 gig flash drive.
Oh boy!
It looks like a
Size
1
of that
gig.
thing. Can you imagine?
It looks like a 1 gig.
Oh, wow. That's massive compared to the one I got. It was a 1 gig.
Isn't that incredible? That was the first one I bought. I don't even remember how old it is or what's on it.
You could get us something smaller than that, and it would probably have a terabyte on it now.
Is it only a flash drive? I mean, nothing special.
Only a flash drive. 1
Nothing
gig
special
flash
about it. No special features.
Nope.
How long ago did you buy it, do you think?
10 years. I don't
imagine
know.
it was probably something
time,
about $150, wasn't it?
My measurement of time is, I've lost it.
I know on my first one I needed a large drive.
Month, I don't know.
And it cost me, I think it was just fractionally over £100 with shipping.
Wow.
I was saying, I need a drive. And then it was just under, it was like £99, then of course with shipping, for a 1 gig drive. And I mean, now you can pick up, I don't know, a 32 gig drive for less than £20. Insane, isn't it? That's back in the days when I was stupid and had money.
Yesterday?
No, you're so funny. Actually, it's my birthday today, so it'd be nice to me.
It's your birthday today?
Yes, it is my birthday today.
Oh, everybody, happy birthday to
you. Don't do that. You'll get sued. You'll get sued out of existence.
That's right. We can't. Yeah.
Not allowed to do that. But thank you. That's very nice. Yes, 54 I am today.
Wow.
So I can. I'm all right for turning the numbers around this time, because it's going to make me 45. But next year, tough. It's going to be the same whichever way I put them.
Yeah, it's true.
So, Steve, I went back and did some research and found a post where someone pointed out that Office Max had that drive that I bought for $49 in 2004.
Wow.
That's not that expensive in 2004.
No, that wasn't. That's probably when I got it. I probably paid $50 or $60 for it. The funny part about it is the plastic on the outside is, some plastic when it deteriorates, it gets sticky.
Yeah.
The whole outside of it is just all like goopy.
That's because of where it was.
It had to think so hard to store 1 gig that it just
melted itself.
Melted itself or something. I don't know.
I don't know. A lot of people generally, if they do hear me, think that I am, think that I sound a bit younger than I am. And this wasn't until I got to about 50 that I thought, I never used to tell people how old I was. But you get past 40, you think, oh, you're starting to slow down. You get to 50, you think, oh, I don't give a no. Who cares? Count every day as a blessing now. So I don't care who knows how old I am.
The older, the better.
You're as old as you feel,
or
something like that.
You either get older or you don't.
Yeah, that's it. If you wake up in the morning, you think, yay, another day.
Yep.
And if you don't, well, you wouldn't know.
So, Bruce, oh boy, look at Bruce.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Steve. Ain't gonna get sued on this blues version. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Steve.
Give me the chords, Bruce.
Very nice.
Yes.
Thanks, Bruce. Live. Excellent. Thank you.
Couldn't resist that. I got my other guitar all packed too because I got to play this afternoon. But I keep this one. I bought this in 1969 in Miami, Florida. This is a Giannini.
That's wild.
Craviola.
That's a weird shape.
Yeah, It's made in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Got real Brazilian rosewood. It's been all over. If you can imagine, I was in the jungles of Africa and watched a native balance my guitar on his head and walk down a trail and never dropped it.
Looks more like a cello.
Like a movie or something?
Pardon me?
Were you making a movie or something, traveling through the wilds of Africa?
No, I was actually speaking, and we landed in a little single-engine Cessna in a logging road in a place called Bafu Bay in Liberia, West Africa, and
So you're going to leave us at noon.
I'm going to leave you at noon. I'm not going to do what I said in the chat.
And you're going to And you're going to go and have a meeting with the guy above?
Actually, we have a 12:30, and then I play in a worship band tonight for a thing called Celebrate Recovery. By the way, a new movie was released April the 19th called Home Run. I highly recommend it. You'll learn a little bit more about Celebrate Recovery in there. It's kind of it's an interesting thing. It's about a professional baseball player who has a problem with alcoholism, and he makes a comeback, and it's got a really good soundtrack to it too. So it's called Home Run. It's in about 300 or 400 theaters across the country right now. So, yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's Spence now playing his.
He's got the banjo. You want to do dueling banjos? Is that what you want?
Yeah, go on, do Deliverance.
Yeah, you guys do the dueling banjos. That's it.
All right, enough of that.
So, Bruce, I have to ask you. I'm so new to Android. What are your must-have 5 top apps? What should I be getting?
Oh goodness, not Facebook Home.
Oh, I tried it. It's terrible.
Yeah. You know what? I like the. I use Gmail. I got the Gmail app, but the stock email app is really good.
I'm using an app called MailDroid, and that works really well.
Yeah. Of course, I use Evernote a lot. I like Evernote. Musically, I like iHeartRadio and Pandora. I listen to that a lot. Best weather app is called WeatherBug Elite. I like that.
WeatherBug.
Of course, I use Skype. My favorite Twitter app is Plume. It's the one I like the best. For news readers, Current or Flipboard. Pulse is another one if you like those things. I like Flipboard because I can, the note is big and I can use it one-handed when I'm away. So, man, that's
with Plume. Does that send push notifications?
Yes.
Because that was an issue I was having with a bunch of these other. I'm using the stock Twitter app because all these other apps don't send push notifications. So I'd be getting Twitter messages.
I get notifications with Plume if somebody
tweets you.
Right.
Okay, and it just pops up in the notification bar?
Yeah, I'll hear the little tweet noise, and then I'll see it in the notification bar. Yeah.
I have to install that.
Mm-hmm. And take a point of personal privilege, we do a show 9 o'clock, our Android Week with Dan McDermott every Monday night at 9 p.m. It's a Google Hangout. I'm on the panel for that, and we have our suggested app of the week. And I've learned about a lot of good apps from some of the other panelists as well. So,
Tommy, you said Sundays at 9?
No, Monday nights at 9 p.m.
Mondays at 9. All right, I'll have to check that out.
Android Week, Dan McDermott.
Yeah, I see it.
Google Plus Week.
I see it go by every week, and before I never dealt with Android, so I never watched it. But now I'll have to check it out.
Sure. All right. Have a great
Bruce.
day. And Spencer, my thoughts and prayers will be with you tomorrow morning, my friend.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
Take
Bye.
care.
Have a good week, Bruce.
All right. Bye-bye.
I'm copying something off that drive that I was talking about before. I found a video file that I wanted to pull to my desktop.
What could have been on there?
Well, I had a bunch of software installs, like older versions of Adobe Premiere, old versions of Snagit, and some other things, WinZip, that are just... the oldest thing I found on there was dated 1998.
Wow.
So, but I'm copying. It's a capture I did of a DVD, a music training DVD that I had ripped to put onto my iPod a while ago.
Crazy.
And realized that, hey, no, I have this in other places stored somewhere, but it would be nice to review it again.
Why, Snagit? That's a blast from the past.
Yeah, I still use it on my work machine. It's very handy.
Windows 7, it's you've got that snipping or sniping, whatever you want to call it. That usually caters for most of the things I need. Although I use Snagit. I think that was probably back in the late 90s, early 2000s. But I moved on and tried various different ones, but I don't need them now because it's built into Windows. Snipping.
Well, I like the crop. What I use it for mainly is cropping. When I've got like I might be reviewing a document and I want to, or I get questions, a lot of technical questions from people that I support. And for example, a PDF document might have a paragraph or two that has the answer to that question. And I can extract, I have Acrobat 10, so I could extract the page if I needed to and just send them the page, because sometimes these documents are huge. But if I want to just extract the paragraph I can cut and paste it, but the formatting always gets wonky. And so if I just crop it, capture it, and then paste it into the email, it keeps the format. And it just looks better. It doesn't. Granted, it's an image. It's not a a text paste. So you can't capture the text. But it's just every so often whenever I take an exam, for example, for a certification or whatever, as I go through the exam, or the course itself, if I want to capture a specific page and just capture like a chart or a little information, I'll use it because I can build my own study guide.
You can always
I don't have to go back and scan through the whole course again. I look for stuff that's significant, and I can just have maybe 5 or 10 pages of a Word document instead of scanning through the entire online course.
You could try a OCR on it, maybe optical character recognition, if you needed it in text, rather than having to type it all in again.
So, a lot of the stuff that's on there is not. I don't think it would work. It's web-based, like Adobe. What is the Adobe Connect? What is what they use to build playbacks of training modules? I forget what it's called.
I'm not sure.
But sometimes it's got graphics in there that are not vector, or they're not capturable items. It's kind of vector graphics or something like that I can't.
Yeah. All done so you can't copy it. Very convenient.
Yeah, so that's it. It just works good for me, and I with my dual screen setup, it's very easy for me to have the multiple apps all up at the same time. So I just. Oh well.
So Nick, going back to the Roku app.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to make it available on the website, and people will be able to take it, or is that something that is just people that have the Roku hardware can get into?
For people to be able to use the Roku app, they have to put it on their Roku. That's how that works with Roku.
Oh, so Roku is something that you have to put your own links on? I mean, the Roku hardware?
The Roku's the little streamer box, and you would either go on the public app store and download the app, or just click a link that you could put to on the site, and then it would install it on your device automatically.
I see.
But you need a Roku to do it.
Yeah.
So is that available now?
No, they told me 2 weeks, but they told me 2 weeks for another one, and it's been like a month. So I'm hoping within the next 2 weeks, but I don't think it's going to happen. But it's in the review process, so it should be up soon.
And I don't know if I asked you this before. Is this going to take the Nissan Communications site or the Computers 2K Now site?
So actually, I can get a screenshot and post it. But what this will do is it has the RSS feeds for all the shows that you linked me to, so that you could listen to the audio for that, and it's also got the live audio as well. So you can listen to the live audio of any of the live shows, or you could listen to last week's episode of any of the shows that you have RSS for. Yeah, and those are all on the app. You just have to click play.
Neato.
Yeah, it should be good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
As long as it gets up there, which.
Amnon, it's so good you can watch future shows that haven't been on yet.
Yeah, I just have to put
the
I
date
just
in.
have to populate the RSS with future dates, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I put in, I want the show for Sunday, April 22nd, 2016. You just put that in and it'll pop up.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. I may have a surprise, so I would. Wouldn't want to do that. All right. Well, 12 came and gone. I've got a bunch of stuff to do. Woke up this morning and the mail server was spitting everything back. And hopefully, I mean, it's nice that it's on a weekend, but Ron was working on it, so I don't know what it was, but that did not feel good.
No.
So,
Did you get any calls?
No.
No.
No, I mean, most of the stuff was just junk. I mean, but that's not the point. It shouldn't be doing that. It couldn't write the queue. So it was sending the emails directly to the mailboxes. And all the rest of them were coming to me. So I had literally thousands of emails in my mailbox of notifications that delivery had a problem. So I need to go in and work on that too.
Here's an interesting chart I just stumbled across. Hard drive prices are back to their pre-flood cost.
And over how many months?
Let's see. It went from October of 2011 till now.
Wow.
So it took a year and a half. Yep, year and a half.
Very interesting.
That's good to see. I've just got one. I don't think it was mentioned maybe while I was away about the Leap Motion and HP.
The what?
Perhaps not then. HP. Did anyone talk anything about the partnership with HP? No.
Huh?
Well, I stepped away from the keyboard a few times, so I may have missed it with anyone bringing up any new story. Did anyone bring anything up about the partnership between Leap Motion and HP? Leap
Motion? No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got something quick then before if everyone's thinking, right, let's go. There's a company out there called Leap Motion, which is basically gesture-based. A bit like the Microsoft Kinect allows you to sort of gesture, and you've got your Nintendo Wii. Leap Motion have got this device that they've developed, which is a gesture-based thing, but it's tiny. And I read a report this week that U.S. hardware giant Hewlett-Packard has signed a collaboration agreement that will take the PC user experience to a whole new level. Through a deal with San Francisco-based startup Leap Motion, HP will take motion control technology to the mass market, allowing people to interact with their computers through gestures. So that's something to really look out for.
I can think of a few gestures that I every now and then wanted to interact with my computers with.
Well, when you look at the Kinect combined with the cameras and things, it's quite a big device. But if you do a search for Leap Motion, LEAPMOTION, it's a tiny little device that could quite easily be incorporated into, a laptop or a notebook, which is, I think, what they're intending to do, so that you'll be able to gesture at your computer rather than having to, move a mouse or a keyboard, and you'll be able to use it in effect like a touch device, if you like. So it would be very good for Windows 8. That you don't actually have to touch the screen, but you'll just be able to gesture towards what you want to point and move and do whatever you want. It looks very good technology. They've got a few YouTube clips there, but it's nice to see them, or see a large manufacturer like HP jump on board with an agreement. I think it's really going to take off later on this year.
Look what Eric is putting in the chat. He says HP doesn't know what to do with that technology. They will fail miserably. I don't know.
I don't know. There's a lot of people seem to very unsure of which direction HP are going to go. Even themselves, I'm sure. But since Meg, I keep wanting to call her Meg Ryan, but it's not Meg Ryan. It's Meg somebody or another, isn't it? That they brought in.
Yeah.
I don't know. We never know what they're talking about in their boardroom and what direction they're going to take. But it's a big company. It's an old company, so I can't see it continuing to fail as it has more recently.
Well, they have failed and failed and failed, and they're back to their core thing, which is printers.
Yeah. Well, who knows? You may be able to gesture towards your printer. No, I want another copy. You know, it's only limited by the imagination. But it's have a look on YouTube. It's a brilliant piece of technology. This Leap Motion. It knocks everything else that's similar to it way out of the water.
Well, does that mean that? I wonder if that means that no other manufacturer will be able to use their technology. That I wonder if that means that they would have to work only with HP. I hope not.
No.
I hope
all
not.
they've done is signed an agreement that they can license the technology for putting in their own laptops and their own devices, rather than like a lot of phone manufacturers do. Say, if we want to be exclusive with, say, the iPhone or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just licensing the technology because, in my view, personally, I think that kind of technology is going to really go massive in the next few months. And they seem to be at the forefront of pushing it to its boundaries and beyond those limits.
Well, good. I would have no problem with that.
Yep, I think the less you have to actually physically touch anything, and you can either think it or wave your hand at something, like slap it upside the head, and it actually does something that you want it to do. Brilliant.
So what's going to happen when you go, and suddenly something got deleted?
You get electric shock.
Yeah. Yeah, Meg Whitman, Stan is saying. That's
it. Meg Whitman, thanks, Stan.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I think it's going to be releasing. I think it's next month that they'll be releasing their original Leap Motion device because it was funded through Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any other announcements? Nick, do you have anything?
No.
Your show is on Friday evening at 7?
Yep, Friday every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern at radargaming.net.
Right. Very interesting show, everybody. It is.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Spence?
Sir.
Anything?
Well, everybody have a good week.
Well, you have a successful day tomorrow, and hopefully any dismay or worry you have about it will be totally unwarranted come tomorrow night.
Yep. Thank you. I'm actually feeling pretty positive about it. So
that's great. Good news. We'll speak to you next week. And have a great week, everybody.
You too, Steve.
And remember, everybody, tonight this evening at 8 o'clock, it's Carrie's Psychic Cafe. Nick, did Mike ask you to?
No. Do you need me to?
Mike is out of town. I don't know when he's going to be back. Well, we'll see.
All right.
I'll
be around, so just send me an email if
All
you
right.
need me. I'll be here.
So 8 till 9, Carrie Psychic Cafe. And tomorrow morning at 11, it's Health In. So good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm. Katie and Donna, thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next week at 9. But you can always reach us at computers2know.com. While you're at it, like us on Facebook. Just click the button on the lower left. And we'll see many of you tonight. Bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Sundays 9 a.m. till noon. Carrie's Psychic Cafe with Carrie Silkowski, Sundays 8 till 9 p.m. Health Inn with Debbie Bruck, Mondays 11 a.m. till noon. Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Mondays 8 till 9 p.m. One Chic Mama with Mary Michelle, Wednesdays 4 till 5 p.m. Reawaken Your Brilliance with Julie Seibert, Wednesdays 9 till 10 p.m. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by ThatVidBlasterGuy.com, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.